Hello and welcome to episode 31 of Chronicles of Nidum, presented by Dice of the Beholder and streamed by Heavyweight Gaming. Thank you and welcome. Episode 31, mental. Can't believe it's gone on this long and continues to get more unbelievable and baffling every single time I count it in. It's insane. But hopefully those of you who have watched will watch, are going to watch, have enjoyed it as much as us and will continue to enjoy it as well. I'm going to jump straight in. Last time, having saved your friend Clint from a dark end, you questioned him about his experience. Using his magic to delve deeply into his thoughts and relive the event. Learning much about the planar portal and the malevolent presence on the other side, you elected to rest for the night after Clint asked you for your news, somewhat disbelieving of your meeting with Odin. Clint directed you then through the countryside to the city of Bath, a town of great renown where you were told you would look forward to a long and well-earned rest. Before getting there, however, your camp was happened upon by a roving group of elven rangers. Some quick words from Sepset and some effective disguises meant that the elf then invited you all on a grand quest being set up in the capital of Londinium, a mission into the Underdark to root out the rebel drow and the hidden dwarves. Being exactly the place you actually were planning on trying to get to, you bid goodbye to Clint, who confirmed he could not follow you, and rushed to the train that the elf had given you a ticket for. Getting to the nearest station just in the very nick of time, after some questionable athletics and rolls, you all managed to jump onto the train just as it was pulling out of the station. Deja vu, however, kicked in majorly, as you once again found yourself in a dark storage compartment, surrounded by boxes of all sizes, all exuding the exact same cold magical energy that you had come across once before. And everyone else, say hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi. Sorry, I realised myself muted.
So, it is the middle of the morning. It's around about 11 o'clock. You have jumped on the train just before it pulled out the station, and it is now happily trundling along through the countryside. And Dice has not yet tried to open one of the boxes.
Good.
Dice has been verbally instructed not to do that.
Dice is not to open any box.
Dice isn't even allowed to open their birthday present anymore.
No.
So,
Box is for me.
what would you like to do?
I'm just relaxing.
Ace is going to keep eye on the boxes, but sit very far away from them, or as far as they can.
Yeah, I've set up a little base since we're going to be on this train for a while, hopefully.
A little bit of background then, quickly, for viewers and the chat. A few sessions ago, the party found themselves on their first train journey, hiding in a storage compartment. Very much like this one, boxes that they discovered were exuding cold magical energy. Dice decided, being the inquisitive sort, to open one of said boxes. And unfortunately, calamity ensued. So, you're all leaving the boxes alone.
Yes.
The train then is swaying gently. And as it comes to a turn, one of the boxes shifts.
Shenanigans. I call shenanigans.
It bounces against what appears to be, as you look down, you hear a thud. It bounces against what appears to be a hidden rail, holding the boxes in place. And the box just happily moves back to its original position.
As it should.
After you've all shit yourselves.
Is it the one that I curled up on top of that moves? Because that would really
It is not.
Cool.
When you say a hidden rail, do you mean like an invisible rail or like a
It's hidden from normal sight, but as soon as you hear the knock, you look down at the floor and you realise that a lot of the wooden panels in the central aisle of the storage compartment, just off to the side, is actually more raised. So when the boxes are pushed into position, they kind of drop like maybe an inch, so they're more secure. They can move about slightly. They've got like a little bit, like I say, half an inch of give on each side, so they will move about as you are trundling along and turn corners.
How big is this box that moved?
The box that moved is about 3 foot by 3 foot. This is a relatively square box.
It's big enough for a body now.
It's easily big enough for a body, or as the one you looked at previously,
Several hands.
Several pieces of a body. However, it does not open, and it just now is resting as it trundles along. You can hear and feel the vibration of the ground beneath you. And just overhead, you can hear the various sounds of nature, birds crying in the background. Very aware that I have no idea what the background music for this stream currently is, so I could be completely describing the background music wrong. But you are on a train right now. Everyone roll a perception check for me.
I don't really want to because monsters and hands. Oh, good. It went really well. 10.
14.
Hey.
9 for worm.
5.
Okay. Oriana,
What's up?
you can hear. It's faint and it passes in and out. It's sometimes drowned out by the noise of the wheels on the ground below you, the rough terrain causing lots of bumps and scratches, and a thunderous noise that kind of blots everything out. But every once in a while, there is smoothness, and you can hear just beyond the door in front of you, towards the front of the carriage. You think you can hear voices. You almost think you can hear laughter. It's deep, it's guttural, but it is laughter.
In the carriage in front of us.
Maybe.
One full of people, because we.
The one that's full of people that we looked at last week.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like the people in the carriage in front of us are having a good time.
Yeah, but there weren't any humans in there.
Well, I think the main issue was we'd have to keep up our disguises if we went out there.
That too.
That's a long time, and I don't have the energy to do that.
No, I suppose we could go in as ourselves, though.
I prefer it in here.
But in the room full of boxes of corpses.
I mean, I'm not the most discreet person.
If they
being
stay in the boxes.
bright purple pure tiefling.
And we're fairly well known in the circuit of bounties at the
Yeah.
moment.
Let me correct that. A wanted purple tiefling.
Yeah, let's stay with the nice boxes of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
As long as
As long as the bodies stay in the boxes,
Yeah,
I'm not concerned about them.
I am of the same mind there, Sepsis.
Can you check the carriage behind us?
No.
Is there a carriage behind us?
There is another there's another door to the rear of your carriage, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go look.
Okay.
I am not doing anything.
You open the door easily, it's not locked. You can see obviously the space then between these carriages. There is about a foot of space. You can see that they are linked by some heavy iron chains at your feet. There is a small kind of wooden walkway that seems to be anchored to each carriage by one peg, by one kind of metal peg. So as the carriages move, the wooden walkway kind of shifts and snakes. But there's a door opposite you.
I open it.
You open it. You remember that you got on relatively at the back. You're not in the rearmost carriage, maybe the last but one. And as you open it, you do find another, almost identical to the one you originally found yourselves in, storage carriage. Some of these boxes are open-topped, however. The boxes are of a very different make, different wood to the ones you find yourself to your main carriage. And you can also see then a door at the back with a large window in it, which has iron bars across it.
This other carriage looks a bit friendlier.
The other carriage looks maybe a bit friendlier. It's completely empty, as far as you can see, apart from the boxes, and you can see the landscape slowly kind of shifting away through the window in the opposite end.
I shout back into the other carriage. I'm gonna stay in this one, and I move more into that back carriage.
Okay.
I follow.
No dead bodies in this one.
You know, I prefer that.
Less of a morgue vibe.
Also, it's warmer in here.
Yeah.
It is warmer. As you walk in, you do realise then that there is no kind of magical cold energy coming from any of the boxes. It is a much more temperate climate in this carriage itself.
Nicer. What's in the open boxes?
You can see sacks mainly, and as you kind of open the top of one of the sacks, you find grain. There are many dried fruits in there. It just seems to be rations, herbs. There's an entire bag of mushrooms.
Sorry, guys. Something weird just happened, and our heads have rearranged themselves on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I knocked my camera off on accident. I didn't leave. I just turned the camera off.
Adi, if you're hearing this, we're real sorry.
Yeah, we're really sorry.
Hang on.
Adi says he's on.
Yeah, it's being fixed. It's being fixed. It's fine.
I think
Where did the bride just go?
he's made it worse.
Yeah, he's made it much worse.
Made it
Why
worse.
did you stand up and walk away? You just quit
You've made it
because
worse now.
because we were in the wrong places. Yeah.
I didn't. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't.
No,
help
you didn't help him.
I didn't know that anyone should perform. I apologise to the chat and anyone watching. Really professional stream.
Oh, come on, we're fine. Accidents happen. Move on.
So,
What's in the open box?
I told you.
I didn't hear you. I was focused on the fact that the cameras have rearranged.
Yeah. There was a little bit of a distraction, mate.
I apologise. There are many sacks
Sorry.
of grain, dried food products, flour. There's an entire sack of mushrooms.
In which case I go, hey, Sepsis, there's an entire sack of mushrooms.
I'm not in the same room with you.
No, I'm calling to you.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
You're only one train of cart away. It's not like you're miles.
Okay. What?
Mushrooms. There's an entire sack of mushrooms.
Yeah, they're probably poisoned.
I mean, wouldn't you be able to tell?
It seems like a lot of trouble. I'm quite happy here, actually.
You're
Aren't
going
you
to
cold?
stay in the room with the dead bodies.
I've sort of already made myself a little nest here.
Okay.
I mean, I trust Sepsis not to open any of the boxes, so if they want to stay in there.
Yeah, they were pretty against us opening the first lot, so I'm pretty happy with them chilling in that room if they wish.
I just walk over and just check. Are we now in the rearmost carriage?
You are in the rearmost carriage.
Okay. I go and stick my head back through and go, all I was thinking is that if you're on your own and anyone comes through that door, they'll get to you first. And I thought that's something perhaps you wouldn't like, since you like to be protected.
I'll do one of these, and Worm, who I'll remind you that you currently know as Creature, will appear on your shoulder in the form of a large spider, and I'll just say, "Tell Creature if I'm needed."
Okay. And I'll walk off with the spider sort of tickling its feet.
And Ace is going to sort of rest themselves in the other carriage then.
Yeah, I'm setting up a new nest in the nicer carriage.
Cool.
That's
So
what
as it then trundles along, you make nests for yourself. You make yourself comfortable. there anything you'd like to discuss before I do a time jump?
Time jump, time jump.
No, there's nothing I want to
Does
discuss.
that mean we can long rest as well?
No.
No. You should have done by now anyway, from
Okay.
last week.
Yeah, you would have done.
I'll do that now.
Yeah, you've had a long rest.
I'm doing a little bit of research. So
Okay.
the two things I'm doing, one is going through the diagrams I took out of that journal now that I have a little bit more leisure.
Yeah.
And the other one is I'm trying to just see if there's anything I can learn from the
Didn't you
sort
have
of
that?
magic.
You gave that journal to me.
I took a load of stuff out of it first.
Right.
Sepsis cut a lot of diagrams out of the journal.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm also going to try and see if there's anything I can learn about the magic on the boxes, since it's my kind of vibe.
Okay.
So just those two things while I've got a bit of leisure.
As you're studying the drawings, then the arcane sigils and the words, roll me an Arcana check.
An Arcana check. 24.
24. Okay. You don't learn that much more than you did about the mechanics of the spells in question. Than
Like
you did
3
last
teams.
time you looked at the journal when the books were all, when the pictures were all still in there. However, looking at them now as just a series of pictures, you do notice that there tends to be a pattern, as if you've cut out what is effectively a jigsaw. And as you start to display them on top of a box in front of you, you start to realize that the diagrams, as they've been drawn in the journal, the original author of the journal may not have come to the same conclusion as you, as he copied them from somewhere else. Putting them and overlapping some, making a strange kind of disjointed collage in front of you, you do see that a lot of these circular sigils seem to interlink and form a greater pattern overall. And knowing that at least one of the addresses works, you look down and start to pick out other addresses. They seem to just jump off the page at you. With the crossed out addresses as a guide, you start to, not knowing exactly where these portals might lead, but with time, you could probably eke out some addresses that you know would definitely work. You wouldn't know where they're going to go, but if you found another portal, you'd have some addresses that would work.
Okay, that's good. Do I then have time to investigate the magic on the boxes?
You do. While that's happening, though,
Yes.
it is a long and comfortable journey for you all. It takes a further half an hour passes in relative comfort, as in the rear carriage it just sways gently, lulling you into a kind of almost nap. You're dozing as it goes. However, you do notice something that Sepsis does not, as they are engrossed in their work. You do notice that the train abruptly slows. It doesn't, the brakes aren't slammed on, it doesn't come to a stop, but the train does abruptly slow. The tempo of the thunderous noise that the wheels are creating on the ground below kind of just becomes a low rumble. And you've heard the trains come into station before, and they slow and slow and slow until they stop. This, after a few minutes of just listening, continues. It's as if they're slowing for a reason, as if they're trying to pass an obstacle, for example. And looking out of the back window, you do notice that the light starts to become dimmer. Not as if clouds are passing over the sun, but you see almost the light start to fold in until it's long and distant. And it is that point you realise that you have travelled into a tunnel. And the thunder then takes on a different noise as it starts to echo and reverberate up the walls of the carriage. Sepsis.
Mhm.
Roll me another Arcana check.
Oh, that one's only an 11.
With advantage, because you've studied this before.
Okay. Oh, well, that's much better than it's a 12.
Okay. You don't get much more information than the last time you studied these boxes. It is a low-level, perpetual, kind of cold enchantment. You know yourself that merely infusing possibly an oil with the ingredients for this spell, just marking it or having it soaked into the wood would quite easily have this low-level spell just kind of continue until it tries to do something it cannot. For example, try and chill an entire room if one of the boxes was left open, looking at you, Dice. And you don't get much more from it. You don't really get... there are many different people that possibly could have the knowledge to do this. Your master himself knew how to infuse certain items or oils, spells into different alchemical reagents. You don't get much more than you've learned previously.
That's fine.
However, in those studies, right at the end of searching and looking into more of these boxes, I want everyone in the back carriage to roll me a perception check.
Perception, yeah?
Perception, yeah.
For some reason I heard deception and was very confused.
Can I roll on behalf of creature?
15.
Yes, you can.
14.
15.
10.
Okay, so creature got 10, around 15.
15, yeah.
Ace.
14.
Dice.
12.
Okay.
Big numbers.
Sepsis. You are the only one who hears this. There is a blood-curdling cry.
From where?
Possibly the carriage in front. Maybe beyond that, but certainly ahead of you.
Cool.
I thought I rolled quite well with 15.
The rest of you...
Yeah, I thought 15 would be alright.
The rest of you...
21 is the highest
being
I could get.
The rest of you, unfortunately, being in a separate carriage. It is quite quiet, even for Sepsis, but he does...
They
do...
I thought, wait, Sepsis didn't roll though, it was creature. And
No,
creature
Sepsis did not roll. Sepsis did not have to. Even Sepsis' passive perception cured this. However, with another load of boxes and another 2 wooden carriage walls and 2 doors, none of you caught on.
I'm gonna hide myself if I can in among the boxes.
Okay.
Preferably somewhere where I can see the door between my carriage and the one that the scream came from.
Wow,
Okay.
Dave.
What?
Roll me a stealth check, please, Sepsis.
Okay. 15.
15. Okay. And nothing occurs. No more screaming. There are, after maybe about 5 minutes of waiting, some quite loud, angry sounding voices from the carriage in front. They quiet down. After one barked order, you can't quite make out the words. Everyone seems to quiet down. You hear a door open. You hear another door open. It's the door into your carriage.
Do we hear that?
Hmm?
Do we hear that?
No. Sepsis.
Hello.
From your vantage point, you can see, with holding lanterns, 2 elven guards walk into your carriage. It is quite dark now that you're in a tunnel, and any sort of light that would come through the slats in the doors or the wood has been completely extinguished. You can see that there are candles and lanterns lit in the carriage in front, but then the door closes and blocks out those silhouettes. And you can just see the 2 elven guards as they wander through, and they look behind a few boxes, on top of, below. You feel their eyes slide over your hiding place. And they carry on.
So they keep moving backwards towards the next carriage?
They keep moving backwards towards the next carriage, searching as they go. They don't open any boxes. They seem quite wary of touching the boxes.
It's not.
I'm going to telepathically say to Creature to warn Dice that there are 2 elven guards coming.
Okay.
And that there was a scream before they came.
Okay. Dice.
I wouldn't hear anything, would I, if it's telepathic?
No,
No,
I spoke to Creature telepathically.
Oh yeah.
The creature can't speak.
Yeah.
Creatures had their tongue cut out.
They're a spider as well, which
They
wouldn't
are a
exactly
spider.
make it easy to talk.
They can do a tap
Oh.
dance, interpretive dance.
Morse code is what I meant to say.
Creature turns into a small rodent.
Small what?
Rodent.
I heard small room and was very confused. Okay, small rodent.
Dice, Ace, you cannot see what Creature is doing. However, Creature skitters down front of Dice's clothes, grabs onto Oriana's cloak, and starts to tug gently in between 2 boxes. And it starts to skitter and make high-pitched rat squeals.
Can't speak with animal.
Fortunately,
Still can't speak.
nothing happens. It can't speak.
They can squeak. Then the idea is that I'd understand the squeaks then.
Squeak with animal.
Unfortunately, the squeaks are unintelligible. There seems to be something wrong with the animal's ability to speak.
Okay. Okay. Can I roll an insight check to see if I can work out what the hell this rat's doing?
You can with disadvantage.
Even though he's trying to communicate?
Yeah, I'm going to stand and sort of see where he's trying to pull my cloak.
It's fine. I got 16 on insight at disadvantage.
Okay. It would appear the rat creature now is trying to pull Oriana between 2 boxes, which would intimate that maybe
Hide.
he wants you to hide.
I pull the hood up on my cloak and then try to squeeze down behind some boxes.
Rich, I'm
Yeah.
going to cast rope trick.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I love rope trick.
Rope trick's an awesome spell. I'm going to touch
For the benefit of those who can't remember what rope trick does.
Yeah, it's fine. Some fecker fallen down a well. Master. Right.
What is it, Ratty? What is it?
I grab a length of rope out of my bag,
Okay.
and the length of rope rises up into the air. I'm going to say as high. It doesn't specify a height, so I'm going to say as high as sort of the top of the car.
Okay.
It's up to 60 feet long. One end of the rope then rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. So, yeah, it's up to 60 feet long, so I'll make it a 5-foot rope, whatever.
Okay.
Fine.
Well, the carriage is about 20 feet tall.
Fine. So it's a 10-foot rope. I'll slice it off. I've got time, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ace is going to don the hat and also attempt to sort of cover.
You won't need to. Hang on.
behind the rock.
Hang on. You won't need to. So the rope comes up. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens to an extra dimensional space that lasts as long as the spell ends, which is an hour. The extra dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. It can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. It can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view. Attacks and spells can't cross the entrance into or out of the extra dimensional space, but those inside can see out of it as though through a 3-foot by 5-foot window centered on the rope. Anything inside the extra dimensional space drops out when the spell ends. So you've got to climb a 10-foot rope. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, outside.
Cool.
I'll just keep my cloak hood up and squat down behind some boxes.
I'll follow on the rope.
Why would you not go up the rope?
Creature.
I'll fly up the rope.
There you go.
Okay.
I'll take creature with me.
Cool. So you all skitter up the rope. Oriana flying majestically up the rope. Well, not majestically. It's actually quite an awkward flight considering straight at the spaces.
It's more like a one jump.
Yeah, but you do all eventually move into the extra dimensional space at the top of the rope. As this happens, and you finally believe that all you and your possessions are hidden, the door opens. 2 elven guards carrying lanterns walk in and start the search in between the boxes. They're much more rigorous in this room. They start to pull out sacks. One of them actually takes out a rapier and starts to stab down into the space between sacks just to make sure there's no one hidden in there. They've got no issue or no fear at all of affecting the contents of these boxes. The first goes to the back door, checks the lock that is on it, realizing that it's still with a heavy metal padlock still there. And in Elvish, which I believe...
Sorry.
Hang on, with Rope Trick, do you know what's going on in the normal world?
We can see out. It doesn't say anything about sound. It doesn't say anything about sound, so I guess that's down to your interpretation.
Okay.
It's an extra dimensional space. We can see out of it as if through a 3-foot by 5-foot window centered on the rope. So we can see what they're doing. As it doesn't specify sound, I don't know that we'd hear anything.
I assume it's an open window though, because you climb through it. So
No, we've closed it and we've pulled the rope up behind
yeah,
us.
you pull the rope up, but I don't think you close the opening, do you? You just make it inaccessible. I don't know.
Don't know. Because it just says those inside can see out as if through a 3-foot by 5-foot window. It doesn't say it's the door that you went in through. It's as if through a window. Because otherwise it would be useless because you'd still be able to see into it as well. But it only says those inside can see out. It doesn't say those outside can see in. So it's closed.
Okay, I would say then, because you can notice the world out of it, it doesn't... My thing is, if it doesn't say you can't, if it doesn't explicitly say you can't, you can.
Okay.
That's why in the book, Rules as Written, in the last campaign, your spiritual weapon gave you advantage if you put it behind the guy you were attacking. You hear then, or I suppose Oriana hears perfectly. The dice ace, you can roll your ear for languages.
Ooh.
Or I can just translate.
I did not do very well on that. So.
Intelligence check, yeah?
Yes, it is an intelligence check.
19.
19.
5.
Okay. So Ace, unfortunately, the elven dialect is a bit too thick for you. However, Oriana and Dice in this circumstance hear quite well. As the first turns around and says, "This is a dark day indeed. One of our most, I suppose, prestigious weapon makers has been murdered, and we have absolutely no one to show for it. All of the other people in that carriage, I mean, you saw how much blood there was. At least some of them should have had a little blood on them. What are we going to do?" The second elf kind of puts his rapier away and just rests against one of the boxes and just kind of sighs. "I do not know. I mean, it's impossible. This hasn't happened on one of our trains in many years. I have no answers for you. I do not know what we could possibly do in this situation. I mean, the only thing I can potentially think of is, I mean, should we stop Kaleva? It's halfway here in Londinium. There is a massive elven outpost there. We can have the train searched thoroughly, send messages ahead, warning them so that people can be looked for if they leave the train and try and get away. Killed on sight. You can question their corpses. The older elf who spoke first. I am to retire from this job quite soon, with a nice little nest egg waiting for me if my end on these trains is marred by this murder and we do not solve it ourselves. I will have that nest egg eaten up in legal fees, in suits against me. We must do something before we get to Kaleva. They both kind of just go silent for a moment. Well, all I can think then is that we try and solve this murder before we get to Kaleva, otherwise I don't think this train will leave their station for a good long while. Anyone racing to Londinium will be held up for weeks, perhaps months, in a cell, cold, dark cell in Kaleva. And depending on how badly we've screwed up, we might be joining them. Fine. Let's go back and survey the scene. Perhaps we can, or maybe there was some evidence we missed. And they both nod at each other, stand up straighter, and move back into the carriage that Sepsis is in, closing the door behind them.
So, within the extra-dimensional space, I relay what they've just said.
2 seconds. It takes a moment to dice. Okay. As you're doing that, then, Sepsis, they rush through your carriage. They do not look. There is but a cursory glance. They do not look again, really, with any kind of impetus. They want to get through the carriages quite quickly. And the door, once again, is closed on your carriage, and they are gone.
All right.
Okay. So you were, Ace, you were relaying, Dice, you were relaying everything to Ace.
Yeah, to make sure I got it right, I ran it by Oriana.
Oriana agrees that, apart from like the small kind of verb, then yeah, you're pretty bang on.
Okay, good. So I say, what the hell do we do with that? I speak to Creature and I go, can you relay that to Sepsis to make sure that...
Creature has been relaying this entire conversation to you, Sepsis, as Dice was relaying it to Ace.
All right. So what do we do? Because we don't want to get held up anywhere, right?
What, do we help them solve the murder, or...?
Well, we'd now have to explain where the hell we were.
Mm.
Rude, Aid, rude.
We've had a lot of that going around today. Well, our options seem to be we either help solve a murder and you guys put yourselves forward as adventurers for hire, as usual, and we'll try and help fix things, or we get held up for ages.
I think it'll be in all of our interests to get through Londinium as quickly as we can, really.
So you think we're going to have to help?
Regrettably, yes.
Maybe we should go and see Sepsis. I'll kick the rope out back through the extra-dimensional space so we can climb down and go, this will stay here for an hour anyway. I don't know what use it is now, but isn't it a neat trick? And I climb down my own rope.
Ace happily follows you.
Okay. We'll go in and see Sepsis. I stick my head through the door and go, Sepsis! Sepsis!
Sorry. Stepping out of the scene for a moment. Why have I never used this spell before?
Rope trick's amazing.
This is like, why do people use tiny hut? Or this is wonderful.
Rope trick lasts an hour.
All right, yeah, I know it lasts ages, but you're all invisible. But what?
Yeah, but people use tiny hut because you can rest in it. You can't rest in rope trick.
But you could have a short rest in rope trick. It lasts an hour.
You can absolutely have a short rest in it. Yeah.
Now, why do you think it's permanently in my spell list?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that spell for the future. Okay. Cool. Right. I'm
amazed you didn't know that. It's an iconic one.
I don't know. I honestly don't know how that one passed me by. I think it's all the recreations of Ford I've been playing recently.
Well, the only character you play.
Yeah, I don't think warlocks get rope trick, so
they do not.
Okay, cool. So yes, you're back in the carriage.
You're back in the room.
Back in the room. Yeah, I go, Sepsis, we need to talk to you. Do you want us to talk in there or in this room?
What do you want to talk about?
To decide whether to help solve a murder or not as adventurers for hire.
I'm not getting involved in a murder on a train, Dice. It's too cliche.
The other option is it takes us far longer to reach Londinium and we may miss the...
You don't know what the train's called yet.
What was that, Bri?
I said you don't know what the train is called yet.
Hey, Dice.
Go out there, find a butler. They did it.
Hey, Dice. If we help solve this, you know I'm going to start calling you Poirot, right?
Calling me what?
Poirot. Inspector Poirot.
Ah, Inspector Poirot. I think it's
your French pronunciation is terrible.
Poirot.
My Charlene, yeah.
Charlene
you're really insulted
is
by
terrible.
this because you're pretty sure that name is Belgian.
Hearing that, hearing
thing.
that comment, Ace just like is ascended into another dimension. Just like
Belgium is not real.
Sorry to any Belgians.
You're just out to offend every nationality.
There's no such thing as Belgium, guys. I can't believe you've fallen for this.
It's all Germany.
Next, you're going to tell me that the world's round.
Don't even start.
It's all Germany or France if it's not the UK.
Okay, so what are you... Sorry, you're arguing with Sepsis, I apologize.
Yes, it doesn't. This seems like a classic one of those not our problems that you like us to get involved in.
Actually, it's not just me who thinks that. Ori thinks that too, as does Ace. They think it's more important we reach Londinium promptly than we get stuck in a cell while they work out who committed the murder. Also, the fact that we hid may not stand us in good stead in terms of guilt.
They still don't know we're here. Maybe we should leave the train, buy some horses, and get to Londinium that way.
We're in a tunnel. I'm not jumping out sideways.
We've gone through a train tunnel before.
You know, maybe they'll solve it on their own.
Have you seen elves trying to sort out a crime? Do you remember
they're probably going to frame someone for it. But
the reason we're on the run?
As long as they don't frame one of us.
And what if they do? I'm just saying, you guys...
Well, they don't even know we're on the train at the moment. And if we keep it that way...
Would be nice to keep it that way, actually.
Or, you guys are adventurers for hire. We are your noble slaves. We could make some money off this.
Don't know how much stuff is going to cost us when we get to Charlotte.
Well, you didn't hear that the two guards were quite keen for this to be resolved. So I think a little extortion would work.
How do you envisage this going?
Sure,
so
we're going to...
That's such a bad idea.
Hang on, wait. What's the plan here? We're going to walk out of the cargo trains that they just searched and say, aha, we're actually adventurers. We'll help you. We were here the whole time. I can't believe you didn't spot us.
Didn't look suspicious at all.
Is that the idea? Or And they're going to go, oh, thank goodness, adventurers. Nothing suspicious about your sudden appearance.
Even though we've just searched the entire train and didn't see you.
They didn't succeed, did they?
Also...
Oh, that'll go down even better. We'll just point out their failure at doing the search.
Also, it sounds like this person suddenly started bleeding and none of the people in the carriage have blood on them. Who do you think is equipped to make that sort of thing happen? The weird commoners in there, or us with all of our powerful magics?
I don't have powerful magics. I'm a human. Humans don't have magic.
They said blood. That usually means like stabbing. And as a human, you're still capable of stabbing.
Looks down
Also,
at all
where
of
did
my
your dog
knives.
go while you were hiding in that carriage? Did your dog climb a rope?
Good point. Yes.
It's very capable.
Yes.
Told
You
you.
can jump 10 foot.
Not your average dog.
And you still think it's a dog?
Don't be ridiculous. He held on to the end of the rope and we pulled the rope in with the dog attached to it.
No,
You know, you do like tug of war.
What? Was that right?
He climbed. He's got special kind of metal claws that just kind of shimmied up the rope.
He does not.
Yeah, no, he absolutely does.
He jumped. He bit onto part of the rope, and then we pulled him up and in like we were playing tug of war.
Can't believe you're arguing with the DM. I would never do that.
Thanks.
Sorry, that came out really squeaky. Okay, you guys make
This little button just appeared in front of me that said doubt.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Press X to doubt.
I am a little concerned that if we don't help them with this thing, that they're never going to work it out and we're going to miss our trip to the Underdark.
I feel that will be the likely scenario.
Do you ever feel like you just can't have an easy long journey, an easy journey on a train, nothing eventful happens? There's always something's going to happen. You can't have a long time skip. You've just got to do something's just got to happen to get you involved, like a filler episode.
I have an idea, but I don't think you'll like it very much.
What?
What if we lure those guards back in here and then kill them, and then also kill everyone who's in the carriage next up from us?
So solving a murder with murder is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, that's that. No, we're not doing that, Sepsis.
I'm suggesting that we kill everyone who's witnessed the murder, and then we say that they all turned on the guards, and the guards fought back, but it was a terrible bloodbath, and there's no mystery, so there's no need to wait in the next town. We just carry on all the way to Londinium, and everything's fine.
I'm sure that a complete obliteration of everyone on the train carriage would cause a larger disruption than the singular murder that has occurred already.
No, because the problem we have now is that there's a mystery, whereas if everyone in that carriage is dead and we tell them what happened, there's no mystery, everything's fine.
Sepsis,
Yes.
I haven't said this to you in quite a while. Shut up.
It's a good plan.
It's really not. That's basically going, there can be no witnesses if there's no witnesses.
Correct.
We're not killing everyone on the train.
No, not everyone on the train, just that
No.
one carriage.
No. We killed that one carriage. Someone's going to come across that carriage. That's a witness. That person has to die. And then somebody else comes. That's a witness. They have to die. We end up killing the entire train.
New idea. What if we push the box of hands into the next carriage and open it?
Because
I
that
don't
would
like that idea.
disrupt the train and stop the train from running.
Point of order. You do remember discovering, or at least believing, the theory that the reason that the box the reason the hands in the box became the horrible, gribbly monster was because the box was stopped at the time over the crystal mine. So while
that's fair.
You would just be hurling body carts at people.
while the same may not occur, the reason that their spell is on there is just to preserve the parts at the moment.
Right.
It's not to
that's
stop
fair.
it from occurring.
You're right. The reason we shouldn't do that is because it wouldn't work, and no other reason.
Please don't spill all of the body parts in the other carriage.
Oh, but what if we took the body that's currently in there and put it in one of these boxes?
It'll
No
just
body.
preserve it. They already know there's a body.
We could put their bodies in there as well.
Oh,
I think that we should
Hades
just
preserve me.
offer help.
But again, how are
But
we going to do that? We can't
that.
go. We
They've
can't just.
searched the entire train.
I
They
can't
don't
just
know we're on
pop
board.
on my detective hat and swagger out of the carriage where they know I wasn't a minute ago and go, "I'm here to solve your murder mystery on the
Well,
whatever this train
when
is
we
called."
arrive in Londinium, how about we sneak off the train?
Train's
and
not going to
then-
Londinium. We're going to get held up in the next town.
Yeah, if they don't,
But
we've got a
get off at the
problem.
next stop, sneak out without them seeing, and offer our help at the platform.
Except they're not going to
If
let
we were
anyone off the
already-
train at the next station because everyone on board this train is now a suspect.
I think we could
And
escape.
if we suddenly appear after being in hiding on the train, we instantly make ourselves suspects.
Everyone's a suspect. I think the idea of waiting until the train gets to the next stop and then sneaking away from it is a very tempting one to me.
We're not going to be able to do
But
that.
not
They're going to be
in order
watching
to help them.
everyone.
Well,
Even not to help them, they're going to watch everyone getting off this train. You can guarantee they've already messaged ahead to say there's been something's happened.
I am an extremely powerful warlock. You are an extremely powerful sorcerer. I'm sure we can come up with something.
We wait and see if they can solve it themselves, or wait until they frame someone. That guy's got a nest egg he doesn't want to lose. He'll get desperate eventually and just frame someone.
These guards are not that smart. They were just talking about being held up for, what was it, weeks?
Yeah.
I don't fancy being at Didcot Parkway for the next few weeks.
Not quite, but close.
Swindon?
Ready?
Everyone roll a perception check. I take it Sepsis would be worried enough to want to roll one?
I've rolled one for creature, but
Okay.
um,
Would you be on alert enough to be...
I rolled an 18, so it's a 20.
Okay.
sure.
I'll roll for... Does anyone want to roll for dice?
Yeah, I can roll for dice.
Okay.
I've
rolled
rolled a
9.
15 for creature and a 16 for sepsis.
Ooh, I rolled
19 for Oriana.
I rolled 17 for dice, so whatever her.
That's plus 3, so that's a 20 for dice as well.
19.
And, sorry, what was Sepsis and creature?
16 and 15 respectively.
Okay, Sepsis, did you join them in the rear carriage? I didn't quite
Nope.
understand. So you've all moved into the original carriage?
I think they're in like the door,
In the
talking
doorway.
to me from the
Okay.
doorway.
Dice, you rolled, fortunately, because M was rolling for you, you rolled a 20 on perception.
Seems legit.
You hear a door open.
Do
not the
the
door,
rest of
it's
us hear it?
Yeah, you all hear it. It's not the door to your carriage, it's the door to the forward carriage that is
Disguise self.
coming this way.
I'm disguise selfing
I've still got my hood up.
Into who?
I've popped
into
my hat
Hugin,
on.
the Duergar, but
Okay.
also with a deerstalker hat on.
I also disguise self into Judah.
Yeah, fuck it. Disguise myself into Mugen or whatever her name is.
Okay. The door opens. A lantern is held aloft. However, it is much dimmer than the lanterns being carried by the guards. And you see a small kind of rock gnome walk into the carriage and kind of hold it up in front of him. And you can see his eyes, and he's squinting through really kind of large, thick-rimmed metal glasses. Kind of, I heard voices. Who's there?
No
I'm still
Your
exactly where I was.
imagination.
I haven't actually moved out of my hiding place,
No, I
just
know.
so you're aware.
So you can, the gnome now can see Dice, Ace, and Oriana.
But not as ourselves.
Not as yourself. Who's there?
No
check
one.
thoughts.
Well, it can't be. If no
All
one
right,
is...
let me rephrase it. None of your business.
I'm
Those-
casting Detect Thoughts, Bray.
Those are two very strange names, but I am a gnome and cannot cast aspersions.
He can't cast Aspersions, but I can cast Detect Thoughts, and I have.
You can. Remind me of the words of Detect Thoughts, please.
So Longan, for the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast the spell and as your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. If the creature you choose has an intelligence of 3 or lower, or doesn't speak any language, the creature is unaffected. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind at that moment. As an action, you can either shift your attention, but I'm not doing that yet. Carry it. So just, I want to know what his surface thoughts are.
Surface thoughts. Confused. The elves didn't mention anyone back here when they came back through the carriage, but they did look quite distracted. And he's wondering whether you have any news about why the elves look so distracted and what the scream was.
I'm not saying anything because I'm hidden and I want to stay that way. But as the others talk to him, I'm keeping the Detect Thoughts focused on him.
Okay.
He doesn't have to make a saving throw unless I try to probe deeper.
Cool. Okay.
So I'm just going to be keeping a running thing of what his surface thoughts are, which will obviously be shaped by the conversation.
Okay. I have also a strange name.
What's your name?
Trainsman.
Trainsman. Do you work on the train?
No, I just like them.
That guy
A
sounds like a
well-picked name.
fucking Pokemon NPC. Hi
That's a
guys,
well-picked name.
Hi guys, I'm the train man.
No, Trainsman.
Your parents knew what you were going to like then.
My parents were both train aficionados also.
Cool.
Mm.
In
So-
generation.
Do you work on the train then, or?
No, it's like travelling on them. We
So-
all up and down the breadth of the empire.
Good for you.
Is he looking at the two humans with any particular level of disgust?
Not at all.
Okay.
Can he see us?
Yeah.
Does he know we're human?
Even though, like, the glasses on his face right now magnify his eyes to something huge. It looks comical.
Milk bottle.
It looks comical on his face. Even then,
Cool.
you can see the slits his eyes are as he's squinting at you. This guy needs his prescription checked. But yeah, he can't really see you that well in the dark either.
Can I say in Gnomish, just because I can, so you wandered through the train knowing that there had recently been a murder?
There's been a murder?
Right.
What does
I wandered through the train. I hear people arguing, big ears, you see. I did murder?
surface thoughts?
This is news to him. This is absolute news to him.
The murder was in the carriage he just walked through.
No.
The murder was...
Oh, he's coming from...
The scream was ahead of you. You don't know whether it was in the carriage.
Okay.
It could have been even further forward. But the elves, he is wondering why the elves didn't mention anything as they walked through, but they mentioned it to you and not the other passengers.
Perhaps I was mistaken. It was something I overheard.
Our Elvish isn't great. We might have misheard.
Oh, well, you know, I'm assuming you're not elves.
No, I'm not enough.
Too green.
Pleasure to meet you all. You said your name was Nunya,
Yeah.
and your friends?
This is Biz and that's Nuss.
So you were introducing all of you at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It can't be very comfortable back here. I've booked an entire section for my friends. It's not my fault none of them turned up. Would you like to come sit?
Surface thoughts.
He's very, very lonely.
Don't do this.
I
want to
I
probe
can't use
deeper.
all my spell slots on this guy's self.
Ace is like, Ace sort of like creeps forward a tiny bit out of the darkness.
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, wisdom saving throw.
Oh no, what are you doing to the poor man?
That's going to be a 13.
Doesn't succeed.
Oh, I know. He was lying. When he had friends.
Yeah.
He does not have any.
Oh, well, that's very sad, but that's not what I'm interested in.
What are you interested in?
I gain insight into his emotion, into his reasoning, his emotional state, and something that looms large in his mind.
Okay.
He's lonely, he wants friends.
He's very lonely.
His friend.
He wants friends, and basically booked out the entire compartment or seating area that he's currently residing in, on the hope that the coach would be overbooked and he could invite people into his space and make friends with them, so that he could talk about trains.
What a blessed soul.
Quit the campaign. I didn't come here to be sad. I could be sad. I could be sad out there. You know, there's loads of
I
stuff.
don't like how you pointed at the room that I'm in.
Be sad out there.
I pointed at the back bedroom. You know, the one full of boxes that make
You
me sad.
started off like that and then went like that.
It doesn't matter. The point is, there's plenty to be sad about, Bri. I don't need this from you. I resign. End of campaign. Goodbye.
Imagine if he actually turned his camera off and just walked away. Now we'd
We'd be like, oh.
I'd drag him back in and turn his camera back on.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't get far.
Ari?
Ace is looking up
Have
at
the-
Ori
have the
just with
guards
like the
already
biggest puppy eyes.
I'm guessing the guards already checked your carriage.
Well, yeah, they walked through. They were, they asked a couple of questions. Has anyone come in? Has anyone left? They looked at people a bit, and didn't pay much attention to me, especially. I'm quite small.
And well known, I would imagine.
What, on trains?
What's he thinking?
What's he thinking?
Yeah, I don't like it.
He
I have to
tried.
know.
He tried to ask the elves questions, but they blatantly ignored. They didn't even look at his section. They just passed through it, obviously not looking at him, knowing exactly where he was sitting, and trying to ignore the fact he existed.
You really don't know me.
Okay, yeah, let's go sit in your carriage. Let's go to your compartment.
Do not turn that camera off. Yes, we would be delighted to join you.
Let's go sit with the sad gnome.
Oh, let me go and tidy up.
Lead the way.
Come along. And he
Coming
walks
too.
back into the carriage, leaving the door open behind him.
I'm
follow
coming
him.
too.
Okay. As you walk in, then
Is he not at all surprised when a whole Duergar appears from behind a
not.
box?
Not even looking at you. Not even
Nice.
looking at you at the moment. So doesn't even notice that you appear from behind a box. And as you...
If we're Nunya, Biz, and Ness, what is Sepsis going to be?
You have to wait and see, won't you?
I try and drop behind Ariana to continue looking, my normal subservient human self.
Okay. As you walk in, then you do see reflected in the light of many lanterns. You do see kind of eyes all kind of open and staring back at you. Some of them are much higher up off the floor than others.
Yeah, I've got my cloak on.
Heads up.
You remember that there was at least one full-blooded orc in this carriage, some dragonborn, half-orcs, goblins, and apparently a rock gnome. But you follow the rock gnome's bobbing lantern in front of you, and the eyes, while looking at you, you can't make out many features of their face in the low light. Apart from, well, Oriana and Sepsis, you can see pretty perfectly where you are. And some of the eyes follow you, some of them kind of ignore you after a moment.
Do they look impressed by my deerstalker?
They look confused as it is a hat, the make and model of which they have never seen.
No, because it won't exist for several hundred years.
Yeah, and in a different dimension.
Yeah.
But
another
yes,
dimension,
It was
dimension.
never actually worn in the books, but here we go.
What books? I don't know what you're talking about. I just thought I'd wear a deerstalker.
you do come to a cubicle of what you would assume to be a seating area for full.
Can I keep an eye out as we're walking for any signs of murder or suspicious behaviour?
I
Okay.
just keep my eyes out for the murderer.
No. Look, for where the murder would have taken place. I'm looking for signs of a murder.
Okay. Well, it is dark. You Dice can see that there are effectively on walls even darker spaces. Like you can make out the wood, but between the wood there just seems to be black voids in a kind of square or rectangular fashion. You're assuming those are the windows. You can't see anything out of them. The light seems to be reflected oddly from them back into the carriage. Far off down the carriage, you can see that there are two larger lights around a wooden, what looks like door frame. You can't really see any further than that, though, past that door. It's either closed or a kind of material that is not reflecting the light, so it looks just like a black void in the distance. But apart from that, it's very hard to see.
Stupid lack of
Unfortunately, most of the people, or most of the races on this carriage, apart from you and Ace, don't really need the lanterns or the candles to see in this carriage.
Oh, shush.
You and Ace are the only people in this carriage right now having an issue.
But we have better vision than the gnome still.
Yes, you absolutely have better vision than the gnome.
Success, we beat someone.
They've stubbed
Yeah,
their
we're
toe
not
so
the
many
worst.
times just walking through this one carriage.
The
All
gnome-
toes broken.
Yeah.
Shins thoroughly bruised.
And as he sits quite close to the window and just kind of gently pats the chair next to him.
I sit next to him.
Okay. And he very quickly, as he's comfortably been looking up at you from his vantage point at this stage, now instead of just looking up like this, has to look up like this.
I sit.
Gonna have a crick in his neck.
I sit as far away from him as I physically can in the seating area.
Just check
I'm gonna
it.
sit
Like,
adjacent.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a friend of ours.
Oh, I'm Trainsman. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Trainsman. My name is Elias. Elias Fakaname.
That's a mouthful.
You can call me Elias.
Elias, nice to meet you. Do you like trains?
No.
Oh, just travelling then.
Nope.
Oh, not travelling. Don't like trains.
There isn't much in the world that Elias does like.
Strange you find yourself on a train travelling from one place to another if you do not like A, trains, and B, travelling.
perhaps it is a means to an end.
But surely the end of getting on a train would be to travel to somewhere.
Doesn't mean I like it.
Oh, I'll take your meaning, sir. I'll take your meaning. Sorry.
Trainsman, I'm very interested in trains if you'd like to talk to me.
Oh, lovely. Well,
I won't.
I know everything about every train that travels across the lands of the Empire.
I stand up and leave.
Even, and you may not have seen one, because they only can travel through the continental empire, not this backwater place. There's one that is pulled by the magical power of steam.
Fascinating.
I know.
In comparison
I'm so
to
far away.
I am genuinely fascinated. I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing.
Ace is just elated at how happy both of you are.
I like your dog, by the way, and just starts absent-mindedly stroking the dog. Strange he's in armour. Doesn't make much noise.
No, it's very quiet.
In fact, no, he's not like this. He's like this,
Yeah.
stroking the dog.
I tried to get him to expand on steam power and how it works and why it works. I beg you don't subject everyone to that. They don't get it.
I am firmly gone. I have left.
Okay. The rest of you then can hear murmured conversation around you. Sepsis, you have walked off. Where have you gone?
I've continued up the train, away from the carriage that we were in.
Do I still have creature/worm?
Yes.
Okay. Just saying.
And he starts to, as you're interested in the steam engine, he does start to regale you with his stories of how he was once, to his great pleasure, invited to the engine. He did have to leave very quickly, though. Apparently, they said they were very busy and couldn't keep him for long. Though he thinks they may have been kind of just lying in awe of his knowledge of other trains, which he told them about at great length.
I start taking notes at this point.
Okay. And he does start describing the steam engine to you and how he believes it works. Seems to be quite knowledgeable, actually, of the workings of trains. Oriana, Ace. It's
Ace is just happy to listen to two people being very happy about something that they are passionate about.
the more that Trainsman speaks, the quicker he speaks and the more excited he becomes. You can see his cheeks, even in the low light, seem to like darken as if he's just becoming more passionate. He's just fueled by the fact that someone wants to listen to him.
He's having the best day of his life, which is going to make it so much. It's going to make it so much worse when I inevitably frame him for this murder.
I lean over to Dice and just go, can you start having the conversation in Gnomish, because he's tripping over Common now. I think he might find it easier to have this conversation in Gnomish.
And I switch to Gnomish.
He does also then very quickly, without skipping a beat, almost as if he hasn't noticed that he's changed the tongue in which he's speaking. He's so excited, it's just in the middle of a sentence skips over.
I lean over to Ace then and go, is that easier for you to drown out?
No, I know Gnomish is just as well as Common.
Great, me too. But hopefully we've saved somebody else on this carriage.
You can hear, actually, quite near you, some very relieved sighs. Sepsis.
There's just one thing
Yes.
about Gnomish, is it's really easy to drown out if you don't speak it.
As you head towards the far door, further towards the front of the carriage, you do see then effectively laying across the entire walkway, are the legs of a orc. Large, but strangely well dressed for most of the orcs you've seen. The clothes are tailored quite well to their somewhat misshapen form, and they seem to be just lounging across with their legs across on two chairs, blocking your way.
I suppose I'll say,
Knees and crawl.
excuse me?
You are excused.
No, as in, may I pass, please?
Oh, no.
Why not?
The elves have put me in charge of making sure no one passes. So you shall not pass.
Oh, Rick.
I shall not.
I felt that coming in my soul.
Well, that's very lovely for you. I'm sure your parents must be extremely proud of this position of authority that you find yourself in.
I have no parents.
If you did, I'm sure they would be extremely proud of this position of authority that you find yourself in. But actually, the elves have asked me to come up and meet them.
Roll a persuasion check.
Not deception.
Deception, actually. Sorry, roll a deception.
Thanks.
There
That's a 28.
Okay.
You have lies.
And I apologize for holding you up on what I am sure is important business.
Yes, it is.
And he takes his legs down. Then good luck in your future endeavors.
Yes, good luck blocking this doorway
It
for
is
the foreseeable future.
It is simple. I am quite large.
Yes, you're doing a fantastic job. Goodbye.
What race is he?
Orc. Big French orc.
Shall I?
I
No,
like that.
He's not half orc. He's an orc. Full.
I like that he said it's simple just after completely fucking it. But I carry on.
Okay. And as you open the door, then we're going to take a break because it's 9 o'clock. People need to go and put kettles on, make themselves drinks, and other things. Yes.
Poorly wives.
Before we go on a quick break, then, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hope you're enjoying so far, and that you will continue on with us for the next couple of hours. Please, if you are confused about any of the in-jokes, any of the information that come up, and also I'm good at this blatant begging because people here may not be my friends on Facebook, so we're going to do it again. Please go to our YouTube channel, which will be, I'm hoping, posted soon by Nightbot. There
you go.
As you can see in the chat, our current URL is horrible. We are currently 49 subscribers away from being able to change that. So would greatly appreciate any and all people going to subscribe. There you can also find, though, the first 30 episodes of Dyson Beholder. I will at some point, the kids aren't here this week, I will at some point, I promise, put together a kind of rundown of episodes 1 to 31 for anyone who wants to watch and not troll through God knows how many hours of campaign that we've already got up on the YouTube. But thank you very much again. This is a preemptive thank you very much for going to our YouTube channel and subscribing. And thank you very much for joining us. We are going to be back at about 20 past. We're going to be back in about 15 minutes. So stay tuned, please. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of episode 31 of Chronicles of Nidum, presented by Dice of the Beholder and streamed by Heavyweight Gaming. I'm gonna get like anagrams to abbreviate that entire thing. So, yes, where you left off, Sepsis had just opened the door to the carriage, moving forward on the train. So, Sepsis.
Yes.
You've opened the door. There is, again, the same plank of wood connected by 2 pegs, snaking as the train slowly makes its way forward. The door in front of you is actually slightly ajar, and there's a lot of light coming through the space around it.
Okay. Is there any way to sort of peek if there's space around it?
Yeah, there's a way to peek in. It's not going to be easy. Like, for example, if you had, a familiar that's invisible on your person or anything like that. But yeah, you could roll me a perception check then.
Roll you a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a big number. I rolled a 2, but I subtract 1 from that, so.
Unfortunately, then, without actually opening the door and getting your head in, the space between the gap is maybe a couple of inches at most. Without being able to actually pop your head in, all you can see is a wall.
Okay. I will.
You can't get a good angle on it.
I will. I'll just open the door and walk in.
Okay. And you are Hugo at the moment, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wearing a Deerstalker.
Cool. So you walk in. The space in front of you then. You have seen the carriage you've just left in relative daylight. It was a comfortable, if probably on the cheap side, carriage. You have also travelled in a carriage of opulence. The last time you were on a train, you travelled with her ladyship and saw what the carriage of an aristocrat might look like. This is the carriage you find yourself in. It is incredibly well appointed. The walls are not bare wood. Most of them are covered in curtains, which service quite small windows. The curtains themselves are massive, overly large for their function, covering up all of the unsightly wood behind them. The floor is carpeted. It's a lush, deep carpet that was not present in the previous carriage you were in. There are not so much cubicles or lines and banks of chairs. There are comfortable sitting areas with incredibly well-crafted tables in between beautiful high-backed, comfortable chairs. And there are rooms off to one side, the corridor you can see leading up to the right of the carriage in front of you, about halfway up. You can see that those would probably be bathrooms or bedrooms. Directly in front of you, however, is a scene of incredible violence. There are 2 elven guards, no longer holding lanterns, but standing over a dead body. It is female.
The same 2 guards we saw before?
You saw them because of your dark vision. So yes, the same 2 guards you saw before, standing over a female body. She is elven, and there is an incredible amount of blood pooling around her. The throat has been ripped out. It's gone, and even from your vantage point, you can see the white of the spine being exposed through her torn throat.
Okay.
The 2 guards hear you, look up, quite startled, and begin to make their way towards you. Who are you?
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Hugin of Hugin and Moonin Detective Agency. I happened to overhear as you were walking past the carriage I was sharing with my colleague, Mr. Trainsman, that there seems to have been some sort of mystery afoot, and I was wondering if I could help out by offering my services.
Trainsman?
Yes, he tried to ask you about it, but you just sort of dismissed him and carried on straight past. I don't know if you recall.
He glances
Small rock
back.
gnome chap. He's very talkative.
He glances back at his friend, and they exchange some words in Elvish. Do you want to try and understand?
Yes, I do want to try to understand.
Roll me an intelligence check, please.
That would be a 17.
The one who is slightly closer to you, the older, deeper-voiced one, turns in an Elvish, says, did you notice anyone with the annoying gnome? And the other, I did not. I was trying to look anywhere but where he was sitting, I'll be honest. I didn't notice anyone with him. What do we believe him? Roll me a deception check, please.
If you could roll with your
with advantage.
Thank you. It's a good thing I had advantage because I rolled a 1 and a 5. So that's 15.
15. Okay. I love it. Oh, I rolled a 5. So what's your total? 15.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
I do what I do when I do what I do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Remember my stealth fake?
Yeah, I do. It was pointless asking you to roll in the end. No, so he kind of looks back at you and nods. I'm afraid we were.
No, I know you were
distracted.
frantically trying to avoid eye contact with my little friend Trainsman, and I quite understand why.
No. You must understand. We were very distracted, and as I'm sure you can understand why. And he gestures back.
Yes, I can. I also don't want to hear every model number of every train on the continent repeated to me in alphabetical order.
They both smile at you, and they visibly relax. You can see that they feel that they've found a kindred spirit in their hatred of tradesmen. And I think they have, really, haven't they? So,
no comment.
As you, did you say detective?
Yes, Hugin and Moonin, detective agency.
What is a detective?
We detect things. We solve mysteries. We
Magic?
We have been known to work on magical subjects. I myself dabble in the arcane arts.
The younger one behind him says, "Sorry, mysteries. Do you mean crimes?"
Yes, certainly. Crimes are a specialty of Hugin and Moonin Detective Agency.
The older one looks. Roll an insight check.
Ooh, 20.
The older one looks quite suspicious at this. It seems very opportune.
The solving of crimes, I want to clarify, not the commission.
No, but he does look very surprised at the coincidence that a detective just appears to be untrained that a crime has been committed on.
Isn't that fortuitous?
Because, that would be weird and would be a terrible trope to write a load of books on. However, the younger one looks quite relieved. Well, do you have any more of your agency here with you?
Yes, well, my partner in the solution of crimes, Moonin, is back in Trainsman's carriage, having not managed to extricate themselves before he started regaling us.
Then please bring them, and you can kill two birds with one stone: save them and potentially save us.
Yes, I shall. Or would it be better? I could start investigating the scene, and we could send the orcish gentleman you have guarding the previous carriage back to get them.
Oh, is he still doing that?
Well, not very effectively, as you can tell by my presence.
Yes, of course. I will go back and get your friend. What do they look like?
You're muted, Greg.
Well, Munin looks like a half orc, and they have two of our human assistants. Assistants, you understand.
Yes, fetching, carrying, that sort of thing.
Fetching, carrying, getting in between us and knives.
Meat shields.
Meat shields.
Yes, I hope to afford one day myself.
Well, the detecting business does pay rather well if you're ever interested in changing careers.
I will watch you quite closely and see if I can learn a thing or two.
I would advise it.
The younger one then moves past you, respectfully nodding as he goes, and walks into the second carriage. I would rather we wait for your friends to arrive, so I have control over the scene, as you would call it.
So far, it seems like everything's well in hand here.
As well as can be expected, we are in the wilds of a backwater principality of the Empire, and fortunately find ourselves in quite a sterile environment in the middle of this tunnel. Nothing's getting on or off the train here.
Is there anything you're able to tell me about the victim while we await my compatriots?
Yes, she was a lady of some renown, a great designer.
Dresses, houses?
Clothing, fashion. She was quite well liked by the royal family themselves. She was there was an experiment in trying to turn the more wild country bumpkin fashions into something more highborn and highbrow, but with a bit of flair to them. We passed through the carriage. She was her usual waspish self, and we heard a scream, came back, and she was, as we find her here.
Which direction did you pass through the carriage in?
We had checked tickets in the rear carriage, and came back. We were knew we were coming upon the tunnel, and were just making sure that the driver was in control of the beast at the front.
I understand. So the murderer then could have come from the carriage behind us, or the one behind that even.
Well, the one behind that was storage, and we've checked it ourselves. There's nothing there.
Yes, of course. I would imagine that you would be very thorough. Obviously, this is quite a serious spot that you find yourself in. I certainly wouldn't want to be myself in your shoes.
That's where we were going, actually, when we ignored your friend, was to go and check all avenues of exit.
Are you aware of anything particularly valuable being transported on this train?
He takes a moment to reply. There is in at least one of the rear transport carriages a shipment of sorts that is to help fronts in the south of the Empire.
Anything to do with this particular individual here?
No, not at all. Most of her belongings were kept in her rooms. And he nods towards, you can see obviously that part of the compartment has been sectioned off into rooms separate from the sitting area. And he just nods towards that part of the building.
I think, as loath as I am to spend another spell slot this soon, I think that I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts again.
Okay.
I'm going to start by reading the surface thoughts of this guard here.
Okay. Surface thoughts of the guard there are: do not mention the body parts in the carriage. Do not mention the body parts in the carriage in the storage carriage. Do not mention the body parts in the storage carriage. Do not mention. Basically, it's surface thoughts.
Okay. That's good. That's very good.
It's a mantra.
Yep. Stop talking about the Civil War. There is something here. Here we go. There's another important part of this spell that is coming up now. You can also use the spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see. When you cast this spell or as your action during the duration, you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. The spell can penetrate barriers, but 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of metal other than lead, or a thin sheet of lead blocks you. You can't detect a creature with an intelligence of 3 or lower, or one that doesn't speak any language. So I would like to know if I detect any hidden thinking creatures anywhere around.
There is another thinking creature in the room.
Interesting.
They are very, very think thoughts.
Okay,
They're
it
not
says
invisible.
once you detect the presence of a creature in this way, you can read its thoughts for the rest of the duration as described above, even if you can't see it, but it must still be within range.
The only thought you detect right now is a blanket one. There are no words. It is not a formed thought. However, you detect pain and hunger. The thoughts are coming from the corpse on the floor. Very, very faint.
Okay,
But they are there.
I'm going to approach the corpse. And
while all this is happening, bear with me. While all this is
Go
happening, you notice, the rest of you, a young elven guard approach, and I have been sent, and he directs all of his speech to Oriana. I have been sent by your colleague, Munin, to fetch you. We have a case of some delicacy that he says he needs your help on.
Oh, I see he's gone and find something to stuck his nose into.
Quite, yes. I believe all of you may be needed. He doesn't look at ace or dice as he says this. If you could please follow me.
Yeah, no problem.
Not you, tradesman, as the gnome starts to get up.
Thank you for your company, tradesman, but it looks like we've got to go do some work.
I've very much enjoyed myself. If you're going to Londinium, as you said, feel free to rejoin me once you've sorted out whatever you're doing.
I'm sure we will.
Very, 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 very good. It was very nice to make all of your acquaintances. It was, and you can sense even with an insight check when he says the word acquaintances, what he means is friends.
As we're walking away,
there is emotion pouring out of him.
As we're walking away, can I reach back, put my hand on his shoulder, and say, "I really enjoyed that chat. I would like to consider us friends."
He's shaking under your grip, and as you walk away, even in the low light, you can see that there are tears brimming in the bottom of his giant glasses.
He slipped away.
I made a friend.
This is going to kill him.
With a googly-eyed gnome.
Don't kill the googly-eyed gnome. I might never forgive you.
I turn back to the guard as I'm following them and go, so what has he looked at so far?
My colleague is quite conservative and has probably had him wait for you to join us before exploring the scene.
All right, well, you're going to tell me what's happened?
There has been some injury caused to a passenger that was travelling on the train.
Is that passenger still alive?
Nothing to worry about, as he just says quite loudly, so there's nothing to see here.
Oh, a minor incident, nothing of concern.
Minor incident. Move your legs as he approaches, and the orc just sits up quite quickly, nods to you.
A wink at the orc.
And the orc kind of like, sorry.
Home, titty croissant.
I'm in so much pain.
Hey.
Other dice?
I said, I'm leaving you. Carry on.
But you are
So far, this session has caused one of your players to quit and your partner to leave you. How bad did your last session of D&D go, everybody?
As you progress into the carriage, it is much better lit. Dice and Ace, you are now happy that you can at least see everything. But you are presented with the scene I described earlier, the corpse on the floor in front. Sepsis, you are approaching the corpse?
Yes, so two things. First of all, I want to probe deeper into the thoughts that I've detected coming from the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a medicine check on the corpse?
You stalk straight forward and all business, and just, okay.
The other thing I was going to do, and this is probably ridiculous, but I was also going to cast Spare the Dying.
Okay.
You want the outcome of the medicine check first to see if it's worth it?
It's a cantrip.
Okay. Roll me a medicine check then, please, Orion.
$23.
Okay. 23. This person is dead. This person is dead as fuck. The blood.
Thanks. I was hoping for a bit more than.
The blood has stopped flowing. The heart long ago has stopped pumping. It is sticky to the touch. Most of its throat is gone. And you can see teeth seem to be the reason this happened. This has not been torn out by hand. Some kind of beast, something with incredibly sharp teeth and a lot of strength, has torn the throat from this person.
I relay that to the Elven guards. Like something has bitten and ripped this throat out.
Well, there's nothing on this train that we believe could have done that.
Can I see what teeth, like, are they like, can I see obvious canine marks or?
What was your roll?
23.
23, okay. As you're searching around the wounds, you do see at each side, there seems to be quite a lot of damage directly in the center of the bite mark, as if flat teeth, not meant for ripping and tearing, were used.
Also.
However, just off to each side. And the bite mark, you'd say, was about the width of a dog's skull, or a humanoid anyway. There is a sharp and easy tear on each side of the flat damage. Looking at it with that medicine check, looking at the amount of blood that is pumped out of this person, the size of the wound the blood has pumped out of, and the deflated nature of the corpse itself, there is not enough blood on the floor to have come from this person. There's blood missing, and it's gone somewhere.
Whoever ripped this throat out, they're not a creature designed for doing such a thing.
Also, sorry, sepsis. In the meantime, spare the dying. You feel the energy leave you.
Mhm.
Has no effect on the corpse whatsoever.
Okay, so as I probe deeper into those thoughts, then
there is confusion, fear, because there is a darkness. There is a terrified inability to move, like the thoughts are locked in place, and there is a feeling of losing control. There is they're scared. But the thoughts are still very weak.
But these are the thoughts of this elf who is dead.
Pain, hunger, confusion, and fear. Also, Oriana, as one last glance at the corpse tells you, not only has the blood stopped flowing a while ago, but if you weren't mistaken, it could be a trick of the light. It seems to be healing.
This isn't...
Ever so slowly.
I've seen this before.
You've seen many murder scenes then?
We're detectives.
Comes with the territory. A group of bounty hunters that had stolen from a mine in Portal.
Oh, we've been to the mine in Portal.
These bites have been done by a humanoid creature, possibly a human, but a human that has been affected in a way. Are you aware of how the crystal mind in Portal affects dead humans?
We are, and we're unaware that there were those not of the supreme race that were also aware. And they both look at you quite warily now. One of their hands kind of slides towards their weapons and their head.
Well, we wouldn't make very good detectives if we'd passed through that city without managing.
I stay completely calm and just look at one of them and go, sometimes some guards get loose-lipped around alcohol and pretty women.
And as you say pretty women, they kind of both look you up and down. Skeptically.
You subject.
I'm not talking about me.
Okay.
My colleague is more charismatic than she appears.
I didn't say that as Ace.
Ace and Dice. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm standing there, looking innocent and pretending I didn't exist.
Acting like we don't exist. Yes.
Right. I just want to say,
as you do that, is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah. I'd like to see, after Oriana said that it seems to be healing, I'd like to see if I can work out how long we have before this person...
I didn't say out loud that it seems to be healing.
No, but you said we've seen this before, and I know what happened there. Yeah.
True.
I'd like to see, all right, let me reword that then. I'd like to see if I can work out if I think this person's going to get back up imminently.
From the distance you are, roll me a perception check.
Well, that's no good. Honestly, it's not going to happen, is it? It's me and perception. Yeah, that's a very, very solid... Oh, actually, that's better than I thought it was.
What is the number?
18.
You can talk about the roll as much as you like. What is it? 18, okay. So as you look, then, you also clock on to the fact that the wound is, even since you've walked in, growing smaller, very slowly, but by the second, you, having seen something like this before, can see that the wound is healing itself. It's going to take a while, unless there is some other kind of outside help. This is going to... You'll probably be laying on the floor for maybe another hour, 2 hours.
Okay, that's fine. I don't say anything then.
Dice, is there anything... Oh, sorry, Ace, is there anything you'd like to do?
Nope. I'm just gonna be very quiet.
I'm going to stand here and act like I don't exist.
Yes.
We're Harry Pottering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me rephrase that, only because it's still, again, the first time you've played a paladin. For me. Is there anything as a paladin you think you might want to do?
Like, I can detect magic, but like include...
That cough was not clear.
Divine sense.
Divine sense. Okay. Let us divine sense it up then.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So as an action I can detect good and evil until the end of my next turn.
With the rest of it?
I can sorry, I was just having a bit of a yawn then. Anything affected by the hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet. That is not behind total cover.
Okay.
Let us do that.
Cool. So you open...
That sounds like a good idea.
So you open your Thor-given senses.
Mm-hmm.
And...
I call upon Odin.
Very faint. There is a very faint presence.
Mm. Am I detecting it from
centered around the corpse?
Yeah.
But the energy is growing by the second.
Mm.
Something has taken root and is expanding.
Ew.
Okay, and I can't detect anything.
And it is,
sort of connected
that it is
to it?
undead.
Yeah. And I can't sense anything sort of within our sort of area that's connected to it at all, no?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Just the body.
Yeah.
Quick question, Bray. How long is the train carriage? How long and wide?
The train carriage is about... it is 20 foot wide, and is around 60 to 80 feet long.
Okay, while I still have detect thoughts, then I'm going to walk up the train carriage to make sure that I've covered the whole thing, because it's only a 30-foot radius, to make sure that I've covered the whole thing and see if I detect any other thinking creatures in that area.
As you walk up the train carriage, then there is nothing else in this carriage apart from the thoughts of the people you can see.
Okay, and then, and do I get anything from the surface thoughts, the different people that I can see up there?
Surface thoughts, you can pretty much intimate anyway from just the looks. You get the surface thoughts from Dice and Oriana have come to the same conclusion, that the throat is healing. You get the surface thoughts from Ace, that they have just noticed that there is an undead presence filling or beginning to fill the corpse on the floor. And the elves are basically, there's a surface mantra going on in their heads going, look professional, don't look scared, look professional, don't look scared, look professional, don't look scared, we know what we're doing, everything is fine.
Okay, when I get to the other end of the carriage, I'm going to pull out the Wand of Magic Detection, a thing that I have not used since I found it.
Front or rear?
Well, at the opposite end.
So the front, okay.
Magic detection stays up for up to 10 minutes. So I will swap to that and I will walk the length of the carriage with that wand out, seeing if I detect any magical things.
Okay. As you walk up and down the carriage then, there are a few pings as you walk up and down the carriage. A couple of the... You know there is magic behind the doors of what you assume to be the bedroom. It's concentrated in one small area. You know there is also... Sorry, I apologize if you heard that burp of the stream. There is also magic on the corpse's person. There are items there that are magical. You yourself can see there is a glow from a necklace and a ring.
What schools of magic?
You bastard. Sorry. Give me a moment and I will tell you. There we go. Fuck's sake. I greatly apologize. My internet has gone down because it's trying to stream this to Google.
I don't have anything that stops undead, do I?
Not specifically, I don't think.
Other than fire.
If this was perpetrated by creatures such as those we saw outside of Portal, my dear Munin.
Abjuration. The school of magic on her person is abjuration.
Yeah. And the one coming from the bedroom?
That is also. No, that is enchantment.
If it were those creatures that we detected, that we discovered in Portal, my dear Munin, one would think there would be no mystery here, as they weren't particularly subtle.
Can I ask a question, Rich?
Yeah.
Just to double check, this woman is an elf, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This is the only place I've seen wounds like this before, and on that note, the wound is healing.
The elves balk at this. Like, I'm sorry. She's healing. She's dead.
She's undead.
Munin, remove the ring and necklace from the body and
take them off,
and perhaps bind her hand and foot.
I do that.
Okay.
I'm going to open the door to the bedroom as well and look for what the source of the magic is in there.
Okay. Inside.
My advice would be to burn it.
Inside is some effectively dressers. You can tell that the magic is coming from inside one of the dressers.
I will go and open the dresser with the magic coming from it.
Okay. Inside the dresser, this one seems to be, Sepsis wouldn't care, lingerie. Or, as some might put it, Oriana's daywear.
Correct. I don't care. Stop giving me lingerie and give me pictures of the Spider-Man. I mean, the magic items.
Those are the magic items.
Magic lingerie.
Magic knickers.
Enchanted.
That sounds very Oriana.
There is a bra and there's an underwear set. Most people would call underwear, apart from Oriana, who would just put outerwear.
Oriana is the lead in wearing lingerie as day clothes. Okay, you can wear a basque with a pair of jeans. It's fine.
Sepsis comes out wearing just the cloak with a bra and a pair of pants over it.
But it is quite stylized. It's quite embellished, quite thick, and it is black and red, covered in gemstones, and that is where you are getting the abjuration from.
I thought it was enchantment.
Oh, sorry, enchantment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I hidden from view in this bedchamber while I've sort of walked in?
You are.
Well, then you know I'm pocketing that.
Okay, cool.
Pocketing a bra.
It's a set, so as you take the bra, there is also
I take the whole
thong
set.
as well.
Lovely. Can't wait to identify this. Not that I have identify.
I do. You don't know that.
I know you have it. We've
You've
used
done
it
it in
before.
front of Zephyrs.
No. You do know that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my suggestion would be to find a cleric, or you need to burn this body. And in the meantime, whatever did this, there's a possibility it's still on the train.
Can I walk up next to Oriana and very quietly say in her ear, and I want to say it so quietly no one else can hear, and go, what did this is most likely a human or an elf, right?
More than likely it's human.
Would they be already undead?
The others were.
You think they'd be noticeable? And I'll just step back again and continue to look like I was saying something boring.
I just act like you were being a nuisance.
Wave me off.
Sorry, Brad. Just to clarify, something you said to Charlie before. You said that there were, although the wounds seemed to have been made by blunt teeth, did you say it looked like there were sharp, cuts made by sharper indentations on either side?
On each side, yeah.
I'm not so convinced. I don't know that,
Okay.
not having seen it, but out of character for a moment.
I didn't hear the bit about sharp teeth.
I'm not convinced that this is the same sort of thing as we've encountered before. I think this might be the other kind of thing, especially given the whole "there's less blood than there should be" part.
Do you
I
have a
agree.
list of every passenger on
Loaded
board this
myself
train?
up with an adequate amount of sun.
No, we do not, unfortunately.
We're still inside the tunnel right now, aren't we?
We are.
Perhaps we're looking for someone that will go into hiding when we leave the tunnel.
What do you mean?
There's less blood than there should be.
Is there? I wouldn't have a point of reference.
Not seen much battle then.
Not yet, no.
I look at the other one again. You?
No. Actually, no. Perhaps in the future? My second century, maybe.
Perhaps. It gives you a good point of reference. So my next question would be, are you aware of any cargo on this ship that might have been brought on as a body? Or something that was came with the instructions of not to expose to sunlight?
No. Bodies? Perhaps. Maybe.
I'm not even going to question that. Look, it's a vicious bite to the neck. There is blood missing and it is starting to heal. That would suggest a vampire.
Vampires?
Yes.
They are a continental myth.
And that's how they get away with a lot of what they do.
Tell him that he's myth taken to it.
You're myth taken.
Are you two okay? Because this is not a reference I get.
Well, it's a Buffy reference,
Yeah.
but it's also just a play on the word myth.
Thank you.
And unless you're aware of another creature that drinks blood.
And can hide among your regular passengers, of course.
And
if this was a mindless zombie like the ones outside of Porthal, I'm sure that even, I'm sure that such astute guards as you would have apprehended them immediately.
It'd also be something that only came out after we entered the tunnel and it went dark.
Well. You mean they could be in that carriage there?
They could be in any carriage.
How would we know? Nothing passed us when we came back.
Can I very quietly say to Ace, can't you detect undead things?
It is.
No,
I have an ability
I did.
to.
I did detect it.
I have an ability to detect this sort of thing. If you allow me to take my
Ooh, raid!
take my meat shield here and go for a wander through the carriage, perhaps I will be able to weasel them out.
Yes, of course. What should we do? Stay here with the body? They're very unsettled, but like.
Well, yes. I mean, everyone on this train, including us, is counting on you to protect us. Should this fell creature rise and seek our blood?
She's been bound. As long as she doesn't get out of those restraints. Plus, you have weapons.
Very well.
Surely,
we will remain here then.
Surely, such sons of the Empire as you are not to be cowed by one small undead creature.
Fledgling at that.
We will stay here and look after this disgusting abomination.
And we never saw those guards alive again.
They were.
I shall take.
Made into
I shall
little
take.
elf juice boxes.
I shall take Ace by the arm and say, "Come along, Jasper. Let's go and see if we can find anyone else."
Ace just follows along and is giving Sepsis like an incredulous look while where they can't see.
Jasper. Okay.
Nightbot's
that's not
being
the right thing?
overprotective again.
Yep. So I will walk Ace into the next carriage, and then you can detect undead things, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, how much can you do it?
I can do it probably another 2 times.
And how far away from you can they be?
I would say probably about 60 feet, as long as there's not any cover between us.
Excellent. There's only 2 carriages, right, Bribe? The one that we're now heading into, and the one before, the one with tradesmen in it.
Yep.
Well, I would suggest then that we check this carriage and then the next carriage.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident they weren't in the cargo carriage with me.
Ace, you are almost certain that there is nothing else undead in this carriage.
Okay. Is that still using the one that I was having from my last?
From earlier, you with your range on that ability, you can pick up. You scan the entire carriage.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else.
How long does Divine Sense last?
It says within that turn. So.
Oh right, it's just an instantaneous thing, is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's try the next carriage then, I suppose.
Yeah. You lead the way.
So we go into the next carriage, down to the middle of it.
Yeah.
And
I'll cast again. What do I detect?
Tradesman's a vampire.
There are.
So sad.
Where do Ace and Oriana go, by the way?
Dice and Oriana.
Dice. Yeah.
Dice and Oriana, sorry.
I am your girlfriend. Get my name right.
Do we stay with the corpse for them? Or should we follow them?
I can't answer.
Out of character.
Oh.
I wouldn't talk to you in character.
We'd probably stay with the corpse, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll stay with the corpse for now.
Okay. So you wander down the aisle then, the both of you, into the middle of the carriage when you're pretty sure there is...
Tradesman's a vampire, tradesman's a vampire. Do it. Fucking say
less than 60 feet on either side. You open your divine senses.
Be right back.
And with your eyes closed, turn and open them, and you are staring at tradesmen.
You're a bastard. You're such a bastard.
Undead
him.
a very strong, very strong undead presence.
Okay, I'm staring at him, and I sort of give a glance to to Sepsis, being like really upset. He's like,
God damn you, Richard.
What is wrong with you? Who damaged you? Who hurt you?
"Who hurt you?"
Hey, very cute character you throw away. You rip their tongue out and then turn them into a vampire.
Jasper, go and get our colleagues, please.
The Ace goes, "Okay," and then just like goes off back to the others.
I'm going to go and sit down opposite Drainsman again.
Okay. Oh, hello. You're back.
I am indeed.
Nice to see you again. I didn't get a chance to talk to you much earlier.
That's true, you didn't.
No. Have you found out what all the kerfuffle was about?
No, it seems to be quite the mystery, actually.
Oh, right. Roll a deception check. 20. Really? So, no insight whatsoever then?
No, indeed. How long did you say you've been riding the trainsman?
Oh, years. Some might say my entire life. And as a gnome, you can understand that's many of your lifetimes.
Yes. Why'd you do it, trainsman?
Why'd I do it? I
Yes.
like trains.
No, not that. Why did you feed on the young elf?
Young?
Why did you feed
That
on the
bitch
elf?
was old.
No, miss! Repeat!
It's Trainsman.
Not though, I suspect, as ancient as you.
Probably not.
What happened, Charlie, is that Bri takes everything we love away from us.
And then shits
What?
on us.
But the question I asked
But old
is,
enough to know better.
better than what?
Not to insult and make fun of even the smallest of folk around her.
You don't like it when people are impolite to you.
I do not.
Hmm.
I gave you a pass because your friend was so attentive. So decided that you would be all right as well. But
My friend's affection for you was sincere. I think that this is
My-
going to
my
upset her.
affection for them was also sincere. I've not had an inquisitive person listen to my every word, such as they did in centuries.
Well, now I'm interested in what it is that you have to say, trainsman. Not so much about the trains. I have to admit that's not my area of interest, but now I discover that you and I do have something in common.
Oh, the killing.
Indeed.
Do you all friends now?
No, they do not.
Who's Ace?
I will not give you up.
Ace has gone to get us.
I'm afraid I can't offer you the same promise. My shiny friend there is rather straightforward in their moral outlook.
I've met plenty like her before. Of them.
Them.
What are we going to do about this, trainsman? My friends and I need to get somewhere. We need to get there fast. And the guards are saying that if this mystery, such as it is, isn't solved, we are going to be held up in the next town, possibly for quite some time. I don't want that.
Well, I've been on many of these trains, especially the ones that travel into what they would consider to be the backwater parts of the Empire. Farms, some of the elves like to call them. Human farms. a plethora of body parts, right for the picking, for their strange, twisted creations on the war front.
This is not news to me.
No, it is not. However, I know that this train has an entire carriage full of disposable body parts.
I am
This would
aware
not
of this.
be the first time that one of my indiscretions has threatened to out me, shall we say.
So, are you saying that you don't think we will be held up in the next town? That you think this whole matter will be expedited in the interests of keeping things quiet?
If you help, yeah.
How can I help?
I've got a plan, an idea. It's worked before.
What is it?
Well, we won't miss a couple of body parts. We could scorch a few of them, as if you'd burnt me out of sight of everyone else. I'd disappear into the tunnel, out the back door, never to be seen or heard from ever again. You present a scorched arm. You thwarted me. We'll pick a child's arm. That's quite gnomish.
I like this idea.
You give him the arm, you give him dust. I'm gone.
And what's in this for me?
Payment?
Of what kind?
Let me ask you a question then. And at this stage, Ace, you get back to the front carriage alone.
Yes.
Dice and Oriana are there with
Mhm.
the two elves.
I'm going to approach
Sorry,
them.
Milk, what?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, weren't we aware that vampires feed exclusively on elves? Because that's the deal they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
You're aware that vampires in the Vampire Nation
Yeah, in Roma.
feed exclusively on elves.
They're not supposed to be outside of that.
Sorry, Ace, what were you doing?
I'm gonna approach Oriana and just go, my lady.
You found him?
Yes. We request your assistance in the next carriage.
Okay, lead the way. I trust you. I turn to the guards and go, I trust you two
I'm
are going
giving-
to watch this body?
Yes, of course. Looking not interested in following you towards a vampire at all.
Okay, well, we'll deal with the problem.
Very good, very good. Yes, we will await with payment, I suppose. Then.
Thank you.
Right, can I
By
time
the
out
way,
very... Go on.
I was just going to say to Charlie, sorry, remember you've got a medallion and a ring on you.
Yeah, they're in my pocket.
Greg?
Can I just clarify something very quickly in a sort of time-out-ish way?
Yeah.
When the guards were in the carriage talking and Dice and everyone were listening, I thought that they said that elf was a weapons designer, not a dress designer. Did I make that note incorrectly, or did they lie to us about what she designs?
They lied to you.
All right, okay, that's good.
You
That's
didn't,
what I thought.
you didn't call it an inside check when you said it.
No, because I knew that I had a note that said otherwise, having had it relayed to me by creature. So I didn't ask to insight check it because I was always planning to check with you because I know it's a lie if that note is correct. So.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, the note is correct. They said weapons designer when they were in the storage carriage, and they said fashion designer when you questioned them later.
Excellent.
Shady bastards.
So you guys are now traveling back towards Sepsis.
Yeah.
Correct.
Cool. Okay. Sepsis.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a question for you.
Which is
what is your preferred method?
Poison.
Shall we say? Ah, nice. Some say a lady's weapon.
Some say.
That is only because in their hatred for menfolk, women are much more subtle, just like the poison. I in life was an advocate for poison. I've not made one myself in a long time, but I have procured some.
Ooh.
The lovely lady in the carriage just up ahead, who will be returning to this world quite soon, had some lovely little poisons on her person.
You need to pay me now before my friends get back here.
And you're in agreement then?
If I can convince them.
Well, you better be rather convincing, otherwise this lovely brown carriage is going to be painted an awful shade of red.
I have an angle.
Then, and he hands you 2 vials of dark viscous liquid. I can promise you what's in there is worth it.
Thank you, tradesman.
I'll
Good to make friends, isn't it?
It is. I'll wait for you in the rear carriage then, yeah?
I will be in shortly.
I'll procure the arms. It's quicker if I do it. And we don't want to leave those boxes open for too long. I don't know if you know anything about them.
That seems for the best.
I will see you there.
Hopefully.
And he stands up and walks towards the rear carriage.
And where are
few
we in
moments
relation to this now?
A few moments pass. You guys get back to Sepsis, and tradesman is nowhere to be seen.
Well,
Tradesman's motivations are not quite as simple as they appear.
How so?
The woman that he exsanguinated is not in fact.
Have you got? Hang on, sorry, Greg. Have you got inspiration?
Yeah, I've already got it.
Damn it!
Stop trying to give him inspiration.
I keep wasting words like exsanguinated. The woman that he exsanguinated is not an innocent fashion designer, as the guards claim, but was in fact a weapons manufacturer working on devastating weapons of war.
I mean, we knew she was a weapons designer.
Yes, well, tradesman has very possibly done us and our human friends in the north a very substantial favor by removing
candidly, she's done us a favor by making one less elf.
That, but particularly this elf. She was working on devastating weapons of war.
Where is the tradesman now?
Tradesman is in the cargo carriage. He has a proposition for us.
Can I roll an insight check against Sepsis, despite knowing full well we're telling the truth? But can I roll an insight check against Sepsis, please?
Yes, you can. Sepsis, roll whatever you like.
Do I have advantage on whatever I like because I'm mixing in quite a lot of truth?
Are you rolling deception?
Yes.
Then yeah.
Cool.
You're rolling deception by telling 90% truth. I'll give you that.
Correct. What have you rolled?
1.
Oh.
Yes.
I got a 23.
Yeah, I think
If I rolled a
that
natural 20, you would still have won.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
critical success on a skill check.
Yes, tradesman's idea is that having taken care of this dreadful threat for us, he plans to escape and give us all of the glory. He is, as we speak, setting out some of the body parts in the cargo carriage. We will go out. We will go out, and he's going to close the box again afterwards.
No, I see what the plan is.
We will go out and make it appear that those body parts are what remains after our defeating the evil, murdering vampire.
That's
and we win twice.
There is a distinct difference between the recently deceased and the refrigerated dead.
Not after it's been warmed up a bit.
Ew.
Oriana?
I assume we're saying this quietly enough that the rest of the carriage can't hear us.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm still in Trainsman's little compartment,
Yeah.
so I figured that we were
Mm.
private enough.
Yeah.
Not just standing there going, "Let's not kill a vampire."
Ariana, I presume that you have spells enough to make refrigerated limbs look like recently charred vampire.
Yeah, and I just start walking up towards the other carriage.
All
Are we
right,
all comfortable with this plan?
actually, yes.
Excellent.
think
Well, let's
so.
go make a mess in the cargo carriage, and then we can explain it to our.
Like that. Yes. I think so.
Let's go make a mess in the cargo carriage, and then we can explain it to our friends in uniform.
As we're wandering down, I turn to Sepsis and go, "I have no particular beef with the vampires. I have a lot of beef with the elves, so it's a balancing act at this point, I think."
As I say, we win twice.
Sounds like we do, for a change. Let's just hope he didn't leave the box open too long. Otherwise, hand monster.
He seems to know what he's doing. He's been on these trains before, apparently.
I'm glad we've
For
done
potentially a long time.
I like trains.
As you nuzzle your hot water bottle.
I like planes.
Yeah, I make my way into the back carriage.
I'm following.
Well, the one before the back.
As a
There is no lantern lit.
I can see.
I can't see shit.
Nope.
You can see
Blind.
that no longer wearing the glasses, wide-eyed in the darkness, the gnome tradesman is standing in front of you.
I light up a piece of paper.
Oh! And he puts the glasses back on and can be seen squinting through the lenses.
Ah.
You should really warn someone before you do that, Dice.
Look, I'm sorry, but the cart is pitch black to me. I can't see
Well,
shit.
It's all right. It's not sunlight. It's
Sorry.
just
Right.
these old eyes. They're a little sensitive.
I
I
sort of
think any eyes that see in the dark.
I take it you're not entirely who you all seem.
We're exactly to be, of course we are.
The doors behind us are shut now, yeah?
Yeah.
I sort of kneel down to be the same height as him and then drop disguise self. And like wings out everything.
Well, aren't you a pretty one?
Well, you keep my secret, I keep yours.
Well, you're never going to hear from me again after this, if you're lucky.
You know, that's kind of a
Good.
shame. I enjoyed our chat.
I put disguise self back on them.
There is a reason I don't have many friends.
They're all dead.
I tend to get hungry.
Great.
People I like tend to taste better.
Please don't shoot me. Please don't try and eat me because I will shoot you. You seem like a nice gnome, but
I'm not hungry right now. I've recently ate.
Sepsis starts firing eldritch blasts off in various directions, like leaving marks on the walls and ceiling.
Yes,
To make
apparently
it look
you...
like there's been a fight
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cool. All right.
you have some body parts for me to burn.
Yes, I found some limbs of a child to look like gnomes. And just chucks some corpse parts on the floor in front of you.
I think of what's going to be the best thing to use to...
Hey, Ori,
Yeah?
what's to stop these limbs coming back to life once they're warmed up? Surely
No. You've got.
We're not driving over a massive crystal.
You've got to be at a confluence.
I made that mistake.
Miles
earlier
away
as
from
well,
a
I forgot.
confluence. You've got to be at a confluence. You've got to be where they're growing it, where they've seeded the ground beneath your feet.
So the time we released a giant hand monster was just bad luck.
Well, if you remember, it was above where the mine was.
Oh no, I remember, but that's what I mean.
Fine.
It was bad luck.
Mine. You mean farm, don't you?
Yeah.
Sepsis throws a dagger that sticks in one of the walls.
Crossbow into the wall next to it.
Hang on. You called it a mine. with no sense of irony, you know that the crystals aren't natural, don't you?
I had a feeling.
We know that the crystals are grown from a source, but we don't know much else. You'd be amazed how little we find out as humans.
They're grown from crystal. A section of the crystal put underground grows exponentially and fast if fed fresh life energy. It's quite exquisite, really, the way they do it slowly over years. But none of those mines are real. They're farms. They're chosen as places, and the crystals are put there. And then, lo and behold, a new mine is found.
I fire a crossbow into the wall above his head and to the right and go,
That was close.
I wouldn't shoot you. I
Watch
actually
it.
like you.
I'm going to use Gansar's support, whatever you said it. Let's say it, Scorcher to burn the body
That's a
parts.
scorcher, yeah. Okay. Okay. Give me a second.
Please don't tell me body parts have got a flipping armor class.
No. However, it is a ranged spell.
Yeah, I'm not right in front of the body parts.
Give me a second.
Tell you what, I take the body parts and I throw them into the air and then do it.
Pull!
I pull!
Arm and go, get it! That came out really squeaky. I'm so sorry for anyone on headphones.
That's fine. A line of roaring flame 30 feet long and 5 feet wide emanates from you in a direction you
It's
choose.
a blowtorch.
Okay.
Are you using Agonauts's Scorcher to just burn some body bits?
Everything else has a wider damage
You've
area.
got Scorching Ray,
Yeah,
you
right.
lunatic.
No, roll for damage. You shoot Agnes a Scorcher down the thing. Roll for damage.
Can I dodge sideways at this
3d8.
point?
Oh, I'll just
Yeah, we're going to get
check here.
behind Oriana.
17.
17 damage. Okay. Roll a wild magic check.
Yay, well done, Richard!
Oh, shut up.
Oh, look, you remember.
Sepsis
You have
like dives
Post-it
out of the
notes
way of
too.
this. Sepsis dives out of the way of this line of fire, yelling, "Zeus's tits!"
It's a 7.
You sure?
Yeah.
7, one sometimes looks like it was a 7.
Oh, it's a very different looking 7 to the one.
Fine. Okay. The line of flame gets halfway down the carriage. Trainsman just manages to leap out of the way,
Sorry, forgot how long this was.
and
She's
kind of looks at you. Roll a persuasion check, just from your actions that you weren't trying to hit Trainsman.
Also now Reese doing flame.
she's not entirely in control of everything she does.
I don't need help with persuasion. That is 28.
Why aren't I ever a persuasive character? Damn.
Bard, bitch.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's an accident. I actually like you.
There
I like you more now.
There
My
is
robe
now,
is scorched.
where the limbs were, a large pile of ash and scorched bone, something that is easily identifiable as a hand.
Shall I go and report our triumph to our uniformed amigos?
Yeah, I pick up the hand and like slap it into your chest.
Wait, well, while you're going, I turn around to Trainsman and I go, you know, we could be friends, but try to stick to elves if you can, because if we ever catch you feeding on humans, it will be a different story.
Oh, there's no chance of that, love.
Do we
Hey,
take
anyone
them?
got something I can use as a stake?
You wouldn't catch me.
Oh, one last question from me anyway. That bitch.
Hmm.
Do you want us to let her rise, or can I go cut off her head? And would that work?
That's entirely up to you. They'd probably kill her anyway, or experiment on her. They do tend to experiment on the undead.
Rather they didn't learn anything from it.
I'm heading back to report to the elves with the scorched hand that Ori's given me.
With that, I believe I should take my leave.
Yeah, we'll be out of the cave eventually.
Quite soon, perhaps about 10 minutes.
I'm sure you won't tell me, but why here? Why not Roma, where the other vampires are?
Roma, and he spits on the ground. And you can see that as he spits, blood leaves his mouth.
Gross. I don't know enough, and I feel like I'm treading on dangerous ground, so forgive me. It's naivety, not deliberate slight. Why?
Because they're as bad as everyone else. A bunch of ancient politicians set in their ways.
Elitists.
Don't know anything about the world outside their stone walls and pillars and towers and spires.
Elitists and gatekeepers.
You could say that. But they're as bad as the elves. Just like the humans were way back when. Just like the orcs are in their homeland. Just like the animal-headed gods in the desert to the south. It's all the same everywhere. Every government, every ruling class. It's all the same. It's all about control. All about keeping the little man, and he does a little bit of a jig, and he's tiny, down. I'm never going back to Roma. And if they send anyone again, you see them, you can tell them. I will send back their teeth, just like I did with the last 6. So, I'm out.
I like you. We're still friends.
Goodbye, tradesman.
Bye.
Safe passage.
Au revoir.
Farewell.
And he moves into the rear carriage. You hear a lock unlock quite loudly because he's left the doors open. And he is gone.
Can I go through and then close and lock that door to hide any evidence that it was ever open?
The padlock was easily picked. It's as simple as closing the door and chink, and it's closed again.
I close it all up, make sure there's nothing out of place, and then walk back through to the others. And I turn to Oriana and go, I liked him.
Yeah, I did.
He was such a nice man.
Hello.
He was.
For a vampire.
Yeah.
With your hands full of ash and
I've just got a hand, I've got a scorched hand.
You walk back through to the room. The corpse on the floor, tied and bound as it is now twitching in a strange effect. You can hear the cracking of bone as this new body kind of tries to move in and of itself, but it's not in control of the movements. The 2 elves there are looking at it, absolutely terrified, and look quite relieved when you get back.
Good. As I walk through the door, I throw the hand to one of them, and I say, "Good news, chaps! We've solved your vampire problem."
Roll a deception check.
Ah! Sorry.
You can have advantage.
Thank you.
I was going to say, can I assist
You've
on
got a
it?
prop.
That is 21.
They drop the hand and kind of start to wipe their hands down on the curtains and the covering the walls.
I take my deer stalker off and sort of start and sort of blow some ash off of it and put it back on my head.
Who was it?
Oh, it was a tradesman, actually.
They both look absolutely stunned by this revelation.
You should
Yes,
always
it
watch
was-
the quiet ones.
Yes, it was quite a mystery, but Hugan and Moonin Detective Agency have solved another one. That's maintaining our 100%.
How are you not more well known? That was the quickest solve of a crime I've ever seen in my 100 units.
Yes, well, we're.
We tried to
Don't
keep a
fuck
low
around.
profile.
I think probably part of. Are you even there? I think probably
Yeah.
the reason
We followed you.
you stayed talking to tradesmen. I left ages ago.
I stayed talking to trains.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
no,
okay.
I followed, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, it tends to be that we solve crimes that the establishment find themselves embarrassingly unable to, and they don't like to publicize that they needed help.
Oh, damn.
The older
Obviously,
one,
that's not the case here.
yeah, the older one cocks an eye at that comment and then quickly is placated by your continuation of what you were saying. I promise you a reward. Unfortunately, there is nothing here. However, there is a bounty on undead, and I'm absolutely sure that once we reach Kaleva and stop the train, we can hand this one off to the authorities and collect a bounty for you.
Yes. Well, there are some pieces of our late vampire friend still in the cargo train where we caught up with him. So perhaps we'll be able to collect the bounty for 2.
Frederick, and he looks at the younger one, go and collect the ash and the rest of the body parts.
At this
Just
point,
ash.
Yes, you might need a dustpan and brush.
At this point, I've recast disguise self for another hour.
Okay. And he walks off to the other carriage to join Ace and Dice. Well, I feel like you deserve a reward now. There is not much I can give you. However, if you would like these rooms...
Ah, well. Yes. Do you have a mop?
There is, of course, no one else using them, and he gestures to the twitching corpse on the floor.
Yes, I mean, there's an unpleasant feature currently. Can we do something about the twitching, soon-to-be vampire and puddle
Yes,
of blood?
Please, bear with me. And he goes to one section of the carpet that is doused in blood, just outside of the pool, and attaches a couple of things and starts to roll the carpet up over the twitching vampire, and then rolls the vampire up in the carpet.
That's one way of keeping control.
You would probably not, in your line of work, be surprised how many unsightly stains we have to remove from the floors of these rooms.
No, indeed, it's quite elementary.
See, you still got inspiration, so I can't give you anything, so sorry.
I need to use it. I need to start fucking using it.
Still got mine from right at the start.
M deserves inspiration for Vampirito. Vampire burrito, because it's in the chat and because Ace isn't allowed to speak. Vampirito, man.
Yeah, right. You can have inspiration for Vampirito. As you, I will. Once Frederick returns, we will carry it back. I believe that the last but one carriage is probably the best place for.
Yeah, somewhere cool.
But thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Will you want your servants with you here, or do you prefer they stay in the?
Well,
We keep them close.
They're not particularly effective meat shields if they're all the way back in steerage.
You make a very good point, of course. I will send them up. Well, actually, bear with me. And he touches his ear. His earring. Touches it. Frederick, send the slaves forward once you're there. And then come back. We have some heavy lifting. And just kind of makes himself busying and moving around the rolled up corpse. Frederick appears before Ace and Dice, and without actually looking at you, your master requests your present.
I don't look, I just go. Yeah.
And he pulls a small dustpan brush out of his coat and starts sweeping up the ash from the floor. It's a very delicate, well-made dustpan and brush just for cleaning up like the very rich guest quarters.
I leave, grinning, not Like, I'm trying to look down, and I've already walked past him before the grin breaks, but I'm definitely walking out going...
It doesn't take long. Frederick is quick to follow you. And you get back to the upper crust quarters only a few moments ahead of him. He nods at the upper guardsman.
Oh, God, sorry.
They both shoulder the carpet. They both again respectfully nod at Hugin and Munin and walk back down the carriage.
Before you go, gentlemen, I keep my colleague here keeps a journal of our investigations, and I don't think she has a title yet for this particular chapter. What's the name of this train?
It's named after a province in Lower Chalem. It's the Lorient Express.
Yes, I wonder if we can work that in, perhaps. Any ideas, Bunin?
Title of the episode.
Not off the top of my head.
And I'm looking at the ground, desperately trying not to grin.
I'm not saying it.
Okay. But yes, that's what it's called. If we could take our leave.
Yes, by all means, you're dismissed.
And they walk out with the carpet. And they're rolled up with the twitching carpet over their shoulder.
I can show you the world.
I start looking around.
Left alone in the room?
I instantly go to the bedroom and flop down on the bed.
Well, this is a step up from the cargo train, huh?
You think I quite like the cargo train?
Really? Okay.
Yes, it was cool.
Sepsis,
Hello.
why is the underwear drawer open?
I don't know what you mean. Oh, magic. There's magic. She had magic underwear. Hey, Dice.
Yeah.
Magic underwear.
Do you want to tell me what these are? And I get the underwear out and present them to Dice.
The bra and panty.
Brazil.
Oh my God, is this magic underwear?
It's certainly magic. It's enchantment magic, I believe.
Oh yeah, and these, I pull out the necklace and ring. They're lying on the bed, just holding them up like these.
Okay. Give me 33 minutes, give or take. I'll do one at a time. I'll start with
That's
the underwear.
extremely precise.
It's roughly how long it takes. I will start with the underwear because I am deathly curious about that, and I'm going to cast it as a ritual.
Okay. Halfway through the ritual, the elves come back.
Oh, I'm in the bedroom, by the way.
However, everyone in the sitting area sees the elves come back, and they nod at you respectfully. We apologise for the, obviously, inconvenience of disturbing you again, but it is the only way up and down the train, unfortunately.
Quite all right.
Is there anything you require?
No. We're quite comfortable here.
Very well, we should be in Kaleva by nightfall. We will stop there overnight, and then we'll be in Londinium in perhaps another day.
Excellent.
If there's nothing else you require, I will have water sent and other small refreshments, as is, of course, Coach doesn't get this, and just carries on and leaves forward of the train.
Just for the record as well, my identify, it looks like me examining it closely and writing a lot of notes rather than it looking like magic. Does that make sense?
No, I know, because artificer, yeah.
That's
Your style of artificer. Okay, so the bra matching thong.
Yeah, I really need to know, man.
Lacy, black and red, covered in gems.
He is hell.
Yeah, but what do they do?
Disguise self.
Fucking hell.
Instead of a hat of disguise, this is underwear of disguise. However, there is a restriction on them.
Okay. I'm sure they are restricting, yes.
Outerwear cannot be worn over them. They, once active, can take on the appearance of full clothing, head to foot. However, when the disguise is not active, the most you could put over them is a sash.
What about cloak?
Cloak is fine.
Do you have to wear both pieces?
Yes.
Someone's obviously never gone for a walk in a thong.
I hold them up and go, Ori, I think these are yours.
I mean, they're not, but I'll have them.
Well, I'm not wearing them. I wear armor. You don't wear any armor, so...
Ace has retreated to the corner and is
Ace,
furiously blushing.
Ace, you could give Ori your hat and you could wear the fancy lacy knickers.
I like my armor. My armor's fine.
You don't want to be naked except for a bra and panties?
Snatch them.
I don't feel it would cover my stature very well.
I give them to
Alright.
I give them to Ori.
Yeah, I take them.
Next
Wait,
up.
but hang on, I wear trousers. Does this mean I have to take my trousers off to use disguise self now?
Yeah.
But you can keep it up.
It's not even disguise self, it's a permanent disguise. So, when
And
wearing
that
I
is
have a
easier.
query.
if you want to, once you put them on, you can make them look exactly like your clothes normally would.
I have a query, bro.
Yeah, go for it.
How are these against cold?
Cold?
Oh,
they're exactly the same as what you would have normally been wearing. It's
okay, so they take
still
on
gonna
the
get-
characteristics of that clothing as well.
No, she's still going to get.
Can I
cold.
wear a cloak over them and they still work?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I checked that.
What about the ring and the necklace?
Yeah. Let's go on to the other. I just love
I change it into that underwear, by the way. I drop disguise self as a spell, put those on and go back into the half orc.
I look kind of jealous.
While that was happening, Ace's like nose buried into the corner of the.
I'm in the bedroom. I went in the bedroom.
I'm
Okay.
in the bedroom anyway. I don't mind.
The ring and the necklace are both very simple to identify. They are a ring and necklace of protection.
Well, it doesn't seem like they work very well, does it?
+1.
Okay.
Protection against what?
Apparently not vampires.
Ring of
Just
protection.
it will just increase your armor class by 1.
It is 1, yeah? Okay. I am very aware that Oriana and Sepsis's armor sucks.
Yeah. Are they like braces of defense, Bride? Do they not work with armor?
No, they don't stack with each other. Why she was wearing both of them, you have no idea. But
Yeah, but I mean, like with braces of defense, you can't have the effect if you're wearing armor. So I was just wondering if they have that same restriction or not.
so
I don't believe the Ring of Protection does. It's one I've encountered before. And I thought it was just +1 to armor class.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't even believe that they don't.
does not affect armor at all.
Okay. I mean, I'd be more.
I know they don't stack.
I'd be more than happy to be a little bit more protected, but I also don't get hit that often in the first place.
Yes, but Sepsis, you made such a drama out of getting hit recently.
It was very traumatic. You're right. I don't know why I'm fighting you on this.
I give you the amulet and I give Oriana the ring because it's subtler.
Cool.
Okay, and I'm going to wear the amulet on the inside of my cloak anyway. So
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I sit there and go, so now I'm the only person who has to cast Disguise Self. You all,
Yeah.
But Ori, you're so distinctive, I really think it's worth it.
I mean, I have to cast it. I can just do it as many times as I want.
Show off.
No, I can. Thanks to my new tacky underwear.
Seriously, drop it. I want to see how bad it looks. Show me.
Drop it. Why not drop it? I just dropped the clothing part of it, so I'm half orc in that underwear.
It's even more gaudy in person. Or on person, I should say. It's for God's sake, put the clothes back on. Never let anyone see that.
Would make staying in
guys.
disguise self difficult if I went to sleep with someone.
everything you just said to Oriana,
Yeah.
roll a persuasion or a deception check to see if she believes you.
I have to roll insight?
Yeah.
You're probably fine. My insight's not great.
I'm not.
What did you roll? Yeah, but which one?
I don't need to tell you that.
Yes, you're the dungeon master.
I'll tell you later.
My insight was a 9.
You win.
Okay.
I'm lying. It looks good.
I don't say anything. I just wink at you.
Okay. And is there anything you would like to do before I sign off for the evening?
No, I'm just going to go for a nap.
I'd love to attune this ring, or
Now
this
that I can-
amulet, rather.
Now that I can sleep and I'll attune the I've got the ring and you've got the necklace.
Yes, I have the ring. I have the necklace, but I've
Yeah, if I
added
need
a
to
ring
tune you
because
too,
there's
I'll
no
do
like
that, but
necklace
yeah.
of protection item. So
You technically should have attuned to the underwear. However, for flavour, I'm just going to let whatever happened happen.
You can say it attuned and then I did all that. It's fine.
This happened. It's fine.
Worth it.
Um,
Oriana.
But yeah, having thwarted the great vampire menace,
In so many words.
we pretty much let him carry on doing what he was doing.
yeah, you did.
Because we became friends with him and he likes trains.
Mm. So that's never going to come back and bite you on the ass later on, because I'm not that kind of DM, am I?
Right, it'd be
not at
really
all.
interesting. I also need to know what's in those vials, so I will spend some time.
Okay.
If I can get some privacy, I'll spend some time with my alchemy kit looking at what's
It's
in those
gravy
vials.
time.
Oh, it's happened again.
Thank you. Zibashu. Hello.
We're just finishing up. We've got raided again.
Ah,
86 people. Should we
Yeah.
go later?
Yeah, we should
Bringing
move
loads
later.
of people.
thank you for the rage. At the
Yeah.
end.
Thank you for the guys. Exactly the same thing happened last time.
well, there's
Should we
more people in
genuinely
chat.
move the session to later on?
Well, I don't know. I've got a question that they may be able to help with. If I'm searching for this disguise self item, I'm guessing panties of disguise self is an item on D&D and Beyond.
Oh, I'm gonna homebrew the hat disguise. So don't to just.
Seems like a homebrew item.
It will absolutely be homebrew time.
For
But
the guys
yes,
who just raided, we now have a matching bra and panties of disguise.
disguise self. You missed a lot. You missed great moral quandary. But sorry, I need to finish up. So as everyone goes to rest, sepsis, you do find a small space. It just so happens it's the toilet cubicle. You don't care.
No.
Roll me an alchemy check.
I will.
With advantage, because the easiest way for you to do this would be to taste it.
Is this
gravy
this is,
time.
intelligence based, right? So intelligence and proficiency I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And did you say with advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's 23.
Okay. You taste them. It is bitter. And you are shocked because it almost feels as if the poison takes hold for a moment. That feeling does, however, quickly dissipate. With your roll, you have 2 vials of ingestible poison, 1 use each. It is a Constitution saving throw. DC 20. On a save, if the person fails the Constitution save, they are incapacitated for an hour. If the person succeeds at the Constitution save, they take 3d8 poison damage.
Nice.
And are not incapacitated. but they do take on 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
So no save, incapacitated, save, 3d8 poison damage, and 1 level of exhaustion.
I got it. Thank you very much.
Good poison.
Good poison. I
How
like
many poisons are you carrying now?
Sepsis is basically an arsenal.
it. None of your business.
A walking
So-
apothecary.
With that wonderful new 2 vials of poison in your pocket, is there anything else you would require to do or like to do before I sign
No,
off?
I'm all done, I think.
So, with that then, trundling along to City of Kaleva, you...
Clever girl.
Hey. Nah.
I've killed the dungeon master.
You are happy to go to your rest, knowing that, well, you did something today. And
Really felt like a milestone in our journey what we've achieved today, didn't it?
yeah, not so much. So you continue onwards, and what will be will be. However, we will discover what will be next session. Session 31. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for
Thank you.
raiding.
Yes, thanks for the raiding. We've had 2 raids.
We're really
Yes,
sorry
we have.
that every time you raid,
We finish 5 minutes
it's
later.
like
Yeah.
5 minutes before the end.
But it is 11 p.m.
Presumably
Yeah.
we'll roll this raid on though to
Oh yeah, absolutely.
someone
We'll get AD.
AD will choose for us.
Yeah, start choosing it. Start asking in the chat, AD, whether people want to move on with us to somewhere else. But yeah, thanks for joining us for episode 31. Please, once more, I cannot unashamedly beg for this enough. We really want to change what the URL is for our YouTube channel. I think we are 49.
That's what you said
subscribers
earlier,
today.
yeah.
I haven't checked since then.
47, I think.
Was it a great choice of music for a train murder, Stu? I did not know what was going on.
So do you think we can't hear the music?
So yeah,
We trust AD.
I will listen back to it later and find out. Yeah, credit absolutely goes to AD for choosing the music.
Yeah.
Tyrant-scape is the app we use. It's amazing. Get on there. Even the free stuff you can get before you sign up properly or subscribe is worth it to add just a little bit of something to your home games if you want to. But yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. The link is in chat.
And also on this
You've
channel.
changed, man. You've sold out.
This week, I will do a catch-up video, so you don't have to troll through all of the hours of the previous 30 episodes. So there will be like a 15-minute, this is the road so far kind of catch-up video. But apart from that, sorry, I'm not going to sign off and say, oh, Tuesday, come back, we're only doing it 5 days a week.
Oh,
6 days a
tomorrow.
week, 6 evenings a week, come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jump in on session 1. So jump in at the ground floor of a new campaign streaming. It's going to be re-hosted by Heavyweight Gaming, where for the Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game. Kelly is a friend of many of us who's going to be running the game, and I cannot wait. I love the game.
It should be amazing.
It should be awesome. Because
in fact, I'd go as far as saying it is going to be amazing.
yeah. Also, Call of Cthulhu needs someone with a dark sense of humor, and
that is Kelly.
It's going to work really well. So yeah, come back tomorrow, 8 o'clock British Standard Time. Thank you, AD, for reminding us. Call of Cthulhu Session 1. Get in on the ground floor. It's going to be epic. But yeah, apart from that, thanks everyone. Thanks again for joining us. And yeah, see you next week. Stay safe.
See you next
Bye,
week, guys.
guys. Love you.
Bye.